oscillating electronic signal, often a sine wave or a square wave.
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of Synth Geekery. It's Saturday, yay! If you've made it this far this week, give yourself a pat on the back. You've done well. And now you get to play with some synths with us. We're going to talk about NAMM and Zoom and Ableton 12 and, gosh, a bit of eurorack, a bit of, I don't know, a bit of other stuff. So stick around. I think a lot of us kind of know what's already been released, but if we talk about it again, it's going to be maybe there's some more information that we've added. Maybe there's our view that you might be interested in, or maybe you just like talking about the same thing over and over again. One of those things, pick one of them and you'll be happy. So this week, there's a new feature which I did as test stream during the week, where now I can actually use Zoom calls for you guys to come into the stream. And the link is pinned in the chat. It's literally, can someone test that link out to make sure it works? I've got Henrik who's joined. I'm guessing that means it's worked. Okay, Henrik's in. The good news about Zoom is you guys can join the stream. You can come and you go as you please. And I've got complete control over you as an input. So I can add you as an input. I don't have to go across to another laptop and muck around and have weird looking orange faces and stuff on here. It's kind of weird. But Henrik's joined us, so JX3D's joined us. So once he's got his camera and unmuted himself, play around. If you're using the web version, make sure you play around with the interface on there. There's a few people that probably need to work out how to unmute themselves and stuff like that on here. Or I would always recommend, if you've got the app, use the app. The app is always better because you've got nice big chunky icons to show that your camera's on or camera's off and you're muted. Anyway, it's free to use Zoom. So if you don't have Zoom, go and install it right now and you can join the chat. I don't care if you don't have a camera, you can join with just audio only. All right, so that's completely fine by me. In fact, I'll just enable the audio of Henrik. And Henrik, can you hear us? He's not hearing us yet because he says I can see that there's no connection, so it's okay. It's a technical thing. Anyway, you guys join Zoom and that'll be good. Now, it's a little cost to me to do this, so I really do hope it takes off. Otherwise, I'll just cancel the subscription after the month. The benefits to you guys is it's free. You can join up to 1080p in HD, full HD. And also the audio is music level quality. Now there's a setting when you join Zoom for your audio, you can actually enable music level quality and disable the microphone features, like background noise removal and things like that. And then you'll be able to actually share your studio sounds and it will sound actually really decent. In fact, it's probably a new thing that Zoom's done in the last 6 months or so that I actually think is a good feature, and for musicians it's a huge win because it means that the audio quality for studios and synths and guitars and stuff like that going across the internet is nice. It's really good. Okay, that's enough about Zoom. Obviously this week is NAMM. NAMM is on right now. As you can see, I'm not there, and I won't be there unless someone is benevolent and wants to send me there, but anyway, that's fine. But what we can do is we can celebrate with you guys who also aren't there, and who knows, we might be able to join in with some people that are there. And I think one of the people that has joined us today is Andy Synth Addict, and he, as you guys know, he is definitely in the neighborhood and he has been roaming the corridors of NAMM, so he is there.
Corridors of power.
We will get to some other regular stuff that we usually talk about at the start of the show soon. But what I do want to do is I want to introduce our regular guests, and here they are, bang in their fulsomeness. We have, next to me, we've got Chris, and over down in the corner, we've got Ian, and below me, we've got a very jerky Mr. Joyce, how are you, bud? He's
Hey, I hope this is okay. It's a wife crap.
yeah, it's a bit crap.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
It's a little shitty, but we'll
The audio's
persevere
bad
with it, mate.
too.
Audio's okay.
I can kill the camera.
I can still hear you, but the video is just It doesn't matter about the camera. I guess at least we can see your face.
We know what you look like, Andy.
Anyone else in the chat who wants to join Zoom?
Yeah.
Actually, Andy, maybe it might work better if you join Zoom.
Could do.
Do you want to try that and see if that actually comes up better for you? Because I can control you just as easily through Zoom, and obviously link is in the chat pinned, or where are we?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Maybe there.
If you've got the Zoom
Try
app,
that real quick. I'll be back.
yep. And if you've got the Zoom app, people, and you don't need to click on a link, you can just paste that meeting ID and password straight in, and it should let you in. So yeah, I'll keep an eye. It usually has a little sort of message that pops up on my screen just here saying that someone's joined. So I'll keep an eye on it. So far, we've just got Henrik, but Henrik doesn't seem to be actually in. I don't know why. Anyway, it's nice to have everyone here. If Andy Synthetic can't get it to work in Zoom, he can just come back in here anyway. So that's all good. Right. What else? We are going to say good day. We'll start with you, Chris, and then we'll go across to everyone. How's your week been, mate?
It's been pretty busy. Pretty cool week, though. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. Mum's birthday yesterday, so we got to eat cake again. It's always a good day when you get to eat cake.
Cake days are good.
Happy birthday, Chris's mum.
85 years old she is.
Wow,
Grand
great.
old lady.
She does not look 85.
I will tell her that, Rance. You'll be in your
She doesn't.
forever now.
I am being blatantly obvious. She and I'm not trying to, wee in her pocket or anything. She does not look 85.
People say I look younger than my years as well, so maybe we've got
Might be a
genes or
family
something.
trait, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
Henrik.
Henrik's back, is he? I got my new scope.
That's Henrik.
Yes,
If you want to see him,
Hey, Henrik.
I don't know if you can hear me.
we can.
we can hear you.
We'll keep going. We'll keep going with
That's
Chris
a
for now.
mistake.
Yeah. So my new scope arrived, so I'm happy about that. It's rather spiffy. Hang on, I'll just
The
do-
Rygold. Don't make everything fall over. Be careful.
I know. It's so weird. Does it even show up on the? Not really.
We
Hey.
can tell it's a scope.
You can tell it's a scope.
Yeah.
It does. It does have a HDMI input, but I lack enough USB inputs to make it work on the stream. But it'll probably feature in videos and stuff like that coming up, at least, or just get more ports or something. But no, that's quite powerful and very cool, and some weird stuff in there. I don't know what it is about the Chinese, but they got some strange ideas of user interfaces. Anyway, so there's a few things where I'm just going, what?
Yeah, I had that with mine.
You have to press that. There's 4 ways to do it wrong, and
Yeah.
1 way to do it right. Anyway, it's learning curve, so that's good. Anyway, so yeah, feeling proper now. I've been
There's probably 400 people developing that one user interface, and they don't all talk to each other.
Oh, you reckon
that-
it's the old by committee thing,
Yeah,
or just collaboration?
you've got
Collaboration
one,
without
your
the actual
job is that button, and everything behind
Yes.
that button is your job.
Yes, that's it. We just farm it out to a pool of programmers, and none of them talk to each other. Why would they need to do that? Yes, anyway, I've been getting back to DIY projects as well. So I've been building my Music Thing modular touring machine,
Nice.
black one,
Wow.
because it's been sitting in the pile to be built for way too long. And of course, making GP82s. Still making them, and they'll be up on the store when they're finished.
Good. Yeah. Are you getting a steady flow of interest in them still?
Well, people can't buy the built modules, so I don't know if they're interested. But people are still bookmarking the store. You know,
So you can't take pre-orders?
favoriting the store. Not really. There's no real pre-order. There is an option to do a thing called made to order. It's quite complicated to set up and it requires a lot of two-way communication between me and the customer. It's quite laborious. I did look into it, but basically, made to order is sort of the way of saying, I will build one of these for you when I have time, but the time is sort of negotiated, and then you have to be able to cancel a sale if it's too long for them to wait, and it's very complicated. So yeah, pre-orders in a traditional sense isn't really supported with Etsy.
Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah, so I looked into it, but you know, it's not going to be long before they're available again. And as I said, the DIY kits are still completely available for order if people want to buy them. But I gather I haven't yet advertised to the right people, so I need to do a bit of work on my side. I think
I'm guessing
get the word out there.
I'm guessing Andy couldn't get Zoom to work because he's back in StreamYard. Not StreamYard, vMix. So, yeah.
Yep. And the other thing I did this week is I've designed a new gadget.
Ooh.
Which is this thing.
Oh yeah.
3D printed item. And at Rants, you probably want to.
I'm going to show the
save
video
for later in the show.
Yeah.
Whenever you want to. Put it in context now or later. Up to you. You might want to get onto the news. I want to get on.
Maybe. Hang on a sec. YouTube.com. Not that.
Of course, I would be selfish and say wait till later in the show when I know everyone's watching. But it's your show, mate. It's your show, mate. You do what you want.
Gotta find you yet. Here we go.
I think he's queuing up a video, ladies and gentlemen. This
Hang
device.
on. This is not public. This video, is it?
It's not public, but it is.
Right. I'll find it.
You know,
it's
unlisted.
listed.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's unlisted.
I know what you mean now. Yeah. Let me just cue that up, and you can. I'll go across to Ian, and he can say good day.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome. Ian, how are you, mate?
Hello. Good day, good
been?
evening, good morning, good afternoon. How's my week been? Really stupidly busy this week, but not doing any music. It's all stuff. So I've put it shouldn't sound so roomy now because I've put some sort of room acoustics treatment back in temporarily. It's not permanent. We've had a bit of a weird week. We pulled out of our house sale down in Frome, which has been coming for a while, but we've finally had to do it. That's the bad news. The good news is we found another house. They've accepted our offer, and it's got a purpose-built studio.
Oh, what?
Oh,
that's amazing.
Yeah,
Mate.
yeah, I know. Exactly. So
Somebody's excited.
but it does mean that we'll have to move out of here and sort of hotbed. We're going to stay with our youngest son for a couple of weeks. Then we're probably going to have to try and rent somewhere in Frome or somewhere close. So it will make the whole process longer, which is a bit of a pain, but we'll deal with it. You know, we'll get there eventually. You know, so that's taken up most of the week. We are preparing for my mother's funeral, which is Monday as well, which is a bit, you know. We've dealt with all that sort of stuff. So it's all been sort of admin-y this week, really. Like I say, I've done nothing creative, which, I mean, in fact, my OPZ is actually sat here on the desk because I thought yesterday, I'm going to get some time to play this. No, I didn't. You know.
Is it charged up? Is it all charged, though? That's the thing. Is it ready to go?
Oh, it's charged. It's charged. Yeah, it's ready to go.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, so a bit of a naff week, really, but
all right.
Each week's different.
Well, it's good news about the studio, and you must share some more details when you can, obviously.
Yeah, I will.
About that.
Yeah.
That'd be exciting.
Very interesting.
Fantastic. Nice. Now, Andy, because you've come back into vMix, so and your video is much better now, mate. So
yeah, it looks great.
But you're muted. I don't know why. You are muted, mate.
Sorry.
There we go.
Sorry, I was making noise. I had to turn down. Yeah, the power of 5G. If you guys watch any of my streams on the first day, on Thursday,
Yeah, I did.
The streams were basic. Sorry.
Yes, I saw them.
Okay, yeah, and so they are choppy because 5G. I don't know. 4G last year worked perfectly. 5G and there does not work. It's the same building. I don't know what happened. So yesterday I started using the Wi-Fi, and it's pretty good most of all. I mean, I didn't get dropped. Like on the first day, I went to the Korg booth, and a few other places just slightly into the room, and just instantly dropped. Yesterday I was able to go on PSN with Wi-Fi in the Korg booth and show some stuff and all that. So Wi-Fi is helping, but it's kind of annoying that they can't use the 5G because it just gives them more freedom to go between buildings easily. Because when I switch buildings, it's, I guess they apparently set up the fabric so it works pretty well because I went between buildings in the tunnel, and I kept my connection yesterday. So so the internet, the IT guys did their job correctly. So it's not multiple Wi-Fis, you know. So, but yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I basically just came on to say hi to everybody and answer any questions if you guys had anything, because I was up till like almost 2 a.m. with Mike Metley yakking about stuff, and I need to go back to sleep for a while before the today's events, because we're going to a Buchla thing over in LA, which is a bit of a drive, and then we gotta go come back to NAMM for the Spunktastic Super Pub. So
Okay, awesome. The only one that I have for you, and I don't know if you've got the answer or not, is the Novation. Everyone seems to be talking about there's like something Novation are going to be doing or releasing. So do you know anything about that?
I didn't see them yet. Either I missed them or they're part of a greater booth with a small
Or a secret
footprint.
room or something? Yeah.
Could be another room. Yeah. You don't know if they're actually they're not part of that Buchla event, are they? Because there are a whole bunch of companies at that.
Don't know.
But that's all the way in LA.
It was kind of a cryptic message that I got from a few people about it, so I'm not really sure, to be fair.
Okay.
Yeah, it could just be a...
Because like Modal and Waldorf and a bunch of other companies are in this like aggregate area.
Yep.
With just small footprints and stuff. So they may have been in there as well. I didn't see them. I didn't walk that whole section yet, but yeah. So if they're supposed to be that, they are there somewhere. I just either haven't seen them yet, or maybe they do have I know some of the places like Yamaha years ago used to do stuff at the Hilton next door. They weren't on the show floor.
Yeah, a few other businesses have done that as well. I think, 1 year Behringer had a house in LA somewhere, and
Oh wow.
Yeah. The question I have for you is, in your opinion, because you've walked around there, what do you think stole the show? Like, what was probably the most attractive thing? Would it have been the Korg's PS, what's it called again? The PS 3000?
3200.
3200, yeah.
3200.
Yeah, but if you saw me on PSN
3300.
yesterday, I'm shooting through a little booth. There's only one there. You have to wait in some line for who knows how long, and they shut you in the booth with your headphones, and so it's kind of limited access. And I don't know how you get in there. I didn't get a chance to talk to the Korg guys, but it's there. I saw a guy playing it, but because it's in a booth and you have headphones on, you can't hear anything, and so it's just a private little show there. So yeah, I'll see. I mean, I double checked because I couldn't remember if it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or 4 days, and it's actually, according to the schedule, it's Sunday as well. So
yeah,
I'm definitely here through that. So I will go back and catch up on anything on Sunday I missed, with today's being a half day kind of thing, going back and forth. So
yeah,
so I will try to squeeze in there at some point. Unfortunately, I don't have a proper audio interface with my mobile rig to capture it well, but I could turn the headphones up real loud, I guess, and maybe capture it on the camera.
You can hear it on Sonic Steak on the Sonic Steak video, because Nick goes.
You got
to
it, yeah. I figured.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And he goes through the presets. So
yeah, he's got a pretty decent rig too, to be fair.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, I haven't watched any videos
sounds,
yet, so I don't.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
All right, now let's try out for the first time ever a Zoom caller. Henrik, I don't have titles, so unfortunately, Henrik, but we'll work that out later. How are you, mate? How's it working?
I'm fine. Very busy. at the moment it's the usual accounting, and then I play a lot with devices like this.
Yes.
So at the moment it's a big hobby. It's incredible what you can do with such a small computer. So
Is that a daisy seed, Henrik?
no, that one is a Pico, Raspberry Pi Pico.
Right. Cool.
I'm only fiddling with Raspberry Pi 4, 5, Pico, and 0. That's what I have at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
But I may expand later. But I also have to do the accounting and some music.
Yeah, chores.
Now, if you want to be,
And I also have the family.
if you guys want to be awesome like Henrik is, because he's awesome, he joined this stream via clicking on that link, which is pinned in the chat right now, and he's now on a Zoom call, and I can have up to 100 people on this Zoom call if I want now. So that's really, really cool. So please join Henrik, because he's feeling very lonely in Zoom. But what is actually really, really brilliant about this is that Henrik, you're getting all the features of the show fed back through Zoom. And in fact, what Henrik could do if he wants to, he doesn't have to do it today, of course, but he could share his computer screen with us as well. So we can have multiple inputs from him, from the computer screen sharing and the camera. And like I said before, he can also pipe his studio through at musical sort of quality audio. So that's awesome. But we'll keep persevering, and hopefully a few other people join. I think I've advertised it a fair bit already, so no one's biting. I get, Saturday all over the sort of world, people are doing things, I guess. So it's fair enough. A lot of people tell me that they are they're on the train, they're on their phones, they're sitting in the backyard, whatever. It's quite interesting what people tell me they're doing on Saturdays when they're watching the show. So whatever you are doing, it's really, really nice to have you here, and please do stick around. Now, Andy, you're just going to hang around here, aren't you? You're not hopping off anywhere because it's too early, right?
I love to hang, but I'm actually
You're pretty nuffed.
I'm desperately needing some sleep.
Yeah.
I got the Barry White voice going on. I just basically need my sleep. So.
You're more than welcome to
He's talked out.
Nod off whenever you want, mate. You don't have to hang.
Yeah, I'll probably bang out now. Just want to come in and say hi to everybody and watch. Hopefully, I got signal at the Bukla event, but it'd be interesting to be there and check that out, and then drive all the way back to Anaheim for more NAMM fun. So stay tuned.
Enjoy, yeah, and don't forget to paste the link to your channel, which I actually do have it here. I do have it.
Oh yeah, if you could do that, thanks. Yeah,
because you definitely have got quite a bit going on your channel at the moment. Here we go.
I have some canned videos I shot, local videos to upload later. I haven't had time, but all the stuff's on the live section now. So, so they'll be in both slots, but right now it's all just the live slot.
I just did it again. There we go. So it's in there twice in the chat. All right, awesome. All right, shall we get on with the show? I think we should.
Everybody. Yeah.
Good to see you, Andy.
See you, Andy.
Okay, you too.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, we've got Robbie joining us via Zoom, so I can probably add him up once he's up and running. Let me just see if I can do that. Because Andy's left us now, so we can put Robbie up there. This is cool. I really like this feature. This is really cool. It's like a little Christmas present for me. So that's Andy gone. And once Robbie's camera's up and he gets himself sorted, he'll be able to join that top right-hand corner. There you go. There's Robbie. Look at that.
Hey.
Do I have to play with where he is? I might have to move him. Let me see if I have to move you.
I moved my camera too. I don't think it's centered what you're showing.
Yeah, okay. I'll just move Robbie myself. That way that's a bit better. Do you want me to move you as well?
No. Now when I look at my own preview, I am centered, so I was wrong.
Okay, cool. Robbie, can you hear us all? perfectly fine? I can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you, bud.
There you go.
There we go. I can hear you now.
I hadn't installed Zoom on this new computer yet, so I had to go through all the settings again. So there you go. Never mind.
There you go. Let's just have a look at it full screen. Now you can join this at up to 1080p if you want. So you've got an option depending on your Zoom account too. So if you've got a free Zoom account, you may not be able to do it. But some people have, subscribed Zoom accounts due to COVID and whatever. So you can actually increase your up to 1080p, which is awesome. So yeah, and you don't look orange anymore.
Is that better? Hang on, I've just upped my settings.
Almost human skin tones. It's wonderful.
Did that work at all?
Don't know. It's
set
telling
it as-
me you're coming in at. It's probably 320p, I think.
Oh wow,
640 by 360.
I tell you what, let me switch, and then do that, and then hopefully it'll kick in. I don't know. See how that goes.
Meeting settings, original, blah blah blah
Better,
blah.
better. I've set it as I mean, it's a 4K camera, but I don't think my account.
Yeah, I got it at 1080 max, so that's fine.
Oh, cool. There you go. There you go.
Cool.
You can see all me stubble and stuff.
Nice, awesome. Actually, I'll keep you on, Robbie. How you been?
Yeah, not too bad. It's been a busy week, obviously. Literally, I mean, just finished writing more articles. Saturday, hopefully, will be a little quieter unless some companies decide to announce something very last minute. I don't think. I was kind of wondering whether Akai would officially launch their MPC 37 keys, but I've not seen them at all at NAMM, so I don't know whether they're saving that one up for another day.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a bit later too, I think.
Yeah, but no, I'm kind of sat here poised to write any last minute bits and bobs because our editors are really pushing. You can imagine this week is so. I was up until God knows when writing e-drum articles and things last night. So
Have you seen this photo, Robbie?
He posted it, I think.
Oh, why is he not?
And
there we go. Here you go. Keep
I
on.
saw it and thought, oh look, they're at NAMM because it's on a trolley outside. But the closer you look at it, it's actually a street somewhere. So God knows where that is. But it's not
exactly.
NAMM because nobody has seen them or heard from them there. But no, it's interesting. We've got a thing on Gear News where we've actually, we've got a picture of the whole thing, and we've got some new specs. Apparently, it's got 32 gig of RAM, like the 61 keys version.
Okay.
Some other bits and bobs. Yeah, go to gearnews.com for more information. But yeah, what was it? 32 gig of internal RAM, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Ableton link, SD card reader, pedal inputs, MIDI out, 8 CV gate outputs, and will retail for $899 US apparently.
Mhm.
So there you go.
The 61 hasn't really, according to my sources, the 61 keys hasn't really flown off the shelves like I think Akai in Japan probably wanted them to. So, yeah. It when you think about it, you've got that. It's a DJ. It's kind of like it's a beat maker DJ market. The MPC always has been, and it does kind of have this fringe sort of producer market on the outside, but their core market, it's always still going to be that, they'll buy the Pioneer or the Denon decks, and they'll have the MPC as their brain in the middle, and that's kind of the market. So to me, the 37 key, I got a hunch that'll sell more than the 61.
I think it will. Yeah, it certainly looks more the business. I tried the 61 in a store last year and came away very unimpressed. Load times were horribly slow, and other things. It just didn't grab me. I mean, I remember I've got an MPK. I've got two. I've got an 88 that my son has, and a 49 which I got when they first came out. And I thought at the time, wow, I've got MPC pads, I've got a nice keyboard, I've got faders and knobs, and I can assign them to all. And I never really used anything other than the keys. And I don't know if I don't know how many people go in for bashing out beats at the top part of a keyboard. I don't know. It's interesting, and hopefully, I think the 37 will probably do better than the 61 because you can sling it under your arm and hook it up via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So
Yeah. Excellent. We'll probably sink our teeth into that a bit later. I think one of the features, I'm going to go back to vMix, the developers. They're based in Brisbane, and I'm going to say to them, you guys really need to add the feature of titles to this because there's a title system in vMix. It wouldn't be hard for them to add it, and I think that information, because this is actually a Zoom plugin that actually is pulled in through my streaming software, and I'm literally controlling all you guys connecting to Zoom. I haven't actually got Zoom open at all on my computer. It's just done through this software, which is insane. But yeah, I reckon it'd be cool. Right. On with the show. We shall do. I think we've got everyone. We will go this way. Yay. Yes, stranger things may happen. I might have to change Andy's because it's going to have that same look. Andy's going to literally look like that the whole show. We might just have to fix that. Who can we put in there?
He looks interested.
Who have I got? I've got Ian. I've got yeah. Who wants to be next? Henrik, you can be there. There you go. There you go. Cool. Sorry, Ravi, you miss out.
No, that's fine. I can
starting
pick my
with
nose.
Yeah, starting with this one. This is kind of like the Lego series. I think by the end of this year, or halfway through this year, we'll probably have about 100 of these. But this is the disorganized interwork in the iNetwork. I think this is an AI because of the bad spelling. Closet, and it looks a little bit like a Eurorack system, doesn't it, Robbie?
It does.
Yes.
I thought that. Yeah.
Ages 12 and up. Eurorack.
Sounds about right.
Everyone's going to get butthurt over that one. Right, next. Synthesizers, that's exactly how they work.
That looks like Ken Pierce.
Ooh.
Ken Flex Spears.
You mean the one in the red shirt?
Oh,
No.
we wish.
No. It does look a bit like Ken. Right, next. We are along the same 1 in 4 men are happy.
I'd say none.
He does have real sense. It's just been cut off that photo. All right, there's this is a stop sign.
Oh, God.
Oh dear.
Yep. I've got sound effects. Right, and Andy's left. Damn, he left. This was of him.
No.
Nothing made Joyce happier than practicing scales.
Oh, everyone looked like that back then.
I know, but like, I don't know. You guys, I don't know if you guys
Yes.
know, but that's his surname, right? So
Yeah. I found some old family photos that look like that.
that's yeah, that's what made that funny for me, and not for anyone else. It's a Synth Geekery had to be their joke, that one. Anyway, favorite meme. There was 5 of them. That was pretty quick, wasn't it?
Stop sign for me.
I'm going to go with the Lego because I just want to tie it up.
Lego.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go, Henrik.
Yeah, Lego was good, but also the stop sign.
Ooh. All right, so we'll have a tie between Lego. What are chatties saying? Chatties, what's your favorite
Lego.
meme? Come on, let us know. Whee! There we go. Refreshed. Stop sign,
Stop
Lego.
sign,
I think it's a
Lego.
tie.
Yeah.
It's a tie.
Scales.
No one's going with the risky, synth makes you look better, has better dates.
Yeah, the
memes,
girlfriend thing. Yeah,
because we all know it's just a lie.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
It's just a whole bunch of middle-aged men. Really, that's what it is. Okay, that's good. It's stop signs and Lego this week. That should be the new title of the show. Speaking of stuff to look at, let's have a look at the news. Hooray! And of course, we have to look at the PS3300 first, of course, because I mean, this is. I'm going to have to change that again. Sorry, it's going to have to change it on the different screens. So do bear with me. I might put Robbie in this time. That way, he won't feel left out. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, Henrik. You know what we can do? We can put Henrik up in the corner. There you go, Henrik. You don't feel left out now. Oh, look at all the cool things I can do now.
But that's where I have a review.
It's like a kid in a candy store.
So, you guys have been watching the NAMM videos, right? Where they've been walking up to this thing, and it's kind of in this. Is it like a glass booth thing? Yeah,
It's in a
it's in a shrine, isn't it?
behind the glass.
It's like the Pope, right? It's a bulletproof.
It's a Pope mobile for the PS3300.
It's very religious. It's very religious. You get a very religious experience when you're playing it. That's
Whose
probably what's
ring
going
do
on.
I have to kiss, though?
They doubt.
Ew.
Oh, jeez, Chris. I was going to say they douse you in holy water before you touch it.
You have to kiss
Anyway,
the Pope's ring. Absolutely.
We talked about this. This is really, really kind of strange. It's kind of a weird thing. We talked about this thing not that long ago on the show when we had one of these in Price Watch, and we were going, "Wow, how much are these things? They're incredibly expensive because they're rare-ish." You know, let's say they're rare. They're pretty rare.
They are rare.
They're not like RSF Cobol rare, but they're rare. And they're, you know, they probably only made, I think, what was the number? Something like
50.
Yeah,
50.
okay. That's under 100, so that's pretty decently rare. And the amount of, you know, polyphony on this thing was incredible, and it has that beautiful sort of Korg analog sound that we love from the 70s. That's what it has. And I think it's a great idea that they're bringing this out. I mean, I don't think it's going to be cheap, guys.
It's not. I made the big mistake earlier in the week of posting on PSN on Facebook saying it was 33,000, I think.
So you said 31, yeah.
31. I got my ones and my threes mixed up. Luke says, and this has come from the interview that he did with Nick Batt, was it's going to be between 10 and 15,000.
Yeah, I heard 13K. 13K was the number I heard.
Quite a lot of people are saying 13K.
Yeah.
So that's bang in the middle. It is going to be built to order. They don't know how many. They don't think it's going to be limited, but they just haven't made that decision yet.
And when you think about it, I mean, like it's going to be a limited edition type thing that, you know, like they did with the ARP 2600, the first one that they brought out. It was, and also I guess the 700.
The 700
right?
FS was the same, but actually the 700 SF is still available, and they are actually making more. So, you know, they've finally sold that original shipment. Yeah, you know.
Who's actually touched one of these in real life? I haven't, so I can't really talk about it. I've just heard them.
No.
Never seen, never touched one.
Aphex Twin have 3 of them, is that right? Or was that just a joke that he had 3 of them?
Who knows? There are a lot of rumours around Aphex Twin.
Yeah.
Even he says that he made a lot of rumours.
Okay, so, you know, what are these things? What specs is it of this that you like? You know, what is it about this that kind of makes you drool?
All of it.
Knobbage.
2.
A lovely case.
May I say something?
Yeah.
There's something about the design on that synthesizer. If you look at the wire from the keyboard to the synthesizer, why is it on the left when it's on the right on the synthesizer?
I know. What is with that?
That's how the original was.
Yeah, but why?
You know why? I'll tell you why. Because they originally were going to have the keyboard on, just imagine me flipped on, I'm going to have to do this the other way, on the right-hand side, even though my left hand's moving, and they were going to have the synth. So that way you can actually use 2 hands and play a knobby at the same time, right?
I know why, and
got it now.
I know why, and I will find a picture showing why. But just continue, then I will find it. Meanwhile,
the chances are the keyboard was going to be placed on top of something else, and then the unit could sit to the side. And I'm guessing that if most keyboard players are, and I don't want to disrespect our left-handed sinister friends, that most keyboard players are right-handed. That explains a lot. And so I don't know, maybe that's it. Maybe that, you know, they put it at opposite ends so that you can get the maximum distance between the two. I know. I'm disappointed actually. They didn't go with the full size 40. Well, it would have been 49 pin with the new one. But that massive chunky plug.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed that's not there because that was like part of the character.
We do like that
in my
chunky
opinion.
plug, don't we?
Yeah.
That chunky plug was pretty cool.
They can't get them in all. They're all taken up by NASA.
Yeah. But this is just a thing of beauty, and I'm so glad they've done it.
So this has kind of got a bit of that Oberheim SEM sort of feel to it, and not in the sound, but the fact that you've actually got three individual synthesizers, right? And then that they make that, you know, polyphonic, and it's insane. It's the mixer section on the right. But what Korg are doing with this new one is they're going to give it a MIDI and USB and and patch memory. So I guess obviously that probably wasn't around in the old one. I can't really think of anything else that they're adding to this, but yeah, I think that'll be cool. I mean, 13 grand, it's probably out of my budget. I still wanted to get a Moog 1, but I've never been able to afford that. So there's a long line now of things that I'll never be able to get, including a plane ticket to NAMM. So yeah. Who here?
Sadly, both my children.
But you may get to play one now. That's the thing, isn't it? Because hopefully this will be at Synthfest, or if there's something like in Australia, Rans, that, you know, if there's a show near you,
Melbourne will probably have something.
Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne.
Yeah,
because that's where CMI
Sounds
is.
easy. You'll probably get one.
Yeah, or Sydney,
guess.
maybe Sydney.
Yeah.
Depends on who gets it in. But yeah. Yeah. How long before they're going to come out? Was the question.
End of the year
is that's when they start production. So I think you're looking. The early ones will be out at the end of the year, probably.
Okay.
If you get, I mean, at the moment, because I did have a look on the dealer portal, they're not taking orders from yet.
Yeah.
You know, so
I'm sure they're taking orders from, you know, the famous people.
The people who
I'm sure they
on the
are.
phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people who've got the phone number. Yeah.
We're looking at you, Hans.
Yeah.
Well, I know someone who is buying one of these and will have it, and if he has his way, it'll be serial number 1. But
And it starts with T and ends with Y.
it does. And he'll have it custom painted in white or something. I don't know. Yeah, he's going to have one of these. Of course he is.
Yeah, of course he is. Of course he is.
He's going to have to build another studio, that guy. Seriously. Yeah. The amount of crap he's got.
Well, he's got another room full of synths, apparently, hasn't he?
He does.
He's got a second studio.
He's not lacking a lot of space.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not beat him, just because we're jealous.
No, let's.
Right, what else we got? There's no video or anything about this. I mean, obviously you guys can check out them salivating over at NAMM on the Sonic State channel, or even Andy's channel, actually, Synthetics channel. There was a bit of a video of it, which I thought was awesome. Right, next is this one, the Redshift 6 by Supercritical Synthesizers. Now, this is an interesting looking synthesizer for a couple of reasons, because these guys have brought out a couple of products before, and like, for example, they've brought out the Demon Core oscillator before, right? And they've also brought out the this filter thing. I forget what they call it now. There's a name for it. It's like a neutron or something. Neutron flux or something. Yeah. And so they're sort of amalgamating a couple of their previous products into this and making this into a 6-voice analog synth, and it's got a couple of cool things about it. It looks nice too, with the red on the side and stuff. But yeah, DCOs, if you're wondering, not VCOs, they're DCOs, and you guys can get all but heard about it listening to it on your AirPods if you want.
Oh, you're trying to make a point.
You know what people are like. Right. Okay. Let's have a look at the video. What happened to my video? There. I'll leave Henrik there. And bees don't live in the synthesizer. Well, it's summer here, so where is it? Come on.
Yeah.
What's your excuse? I think they mean on your part of the world where you're all freezing cold right now.
Important.
They mean. Yeah, important. Yeah, good on you. Yes. So, guys, please talk about this.
Love the sound of this.
Love
the sound.
Have
of
we
this.
had a price?
I do have a price.
$12.59.
Yeah.
$12.59. I think
Euro.
it's really interesting.
€1,259 euro. But I think you can pre-order it, if I remember rightly. Anyway, who wants to go first? Hands
Well,
up.
this is the sign that
Henrik,
a
hang on.
modular company.
Henrik, did you have your hand up? I didn't see.
No. I'm
Okay.
still finding the picture I talked about before.
Okay. All right, I'll go to Robbie. Go, Robbie.
So yeah, this is what a company, a modular synth company, can do when they actually put their minds to it, and create a proper synthesizer. No, I'm kidding. I just think it sounds great. I think they've got the technology, and they've times it by 6 and chucked in their filters as well, and just given a nice compact interface. I mean, I say compact, I can't really tell how big it actually is, but nice little screen, 8 potentiometers, clickable, endless encoder type things, and and I just love the sound of it. That demo, I really like that sound a lot. So I'm very much looking forward to getting my hands on one, and hopefully they'll be at Super Booth.
Yeah, hopefully. Definitely, hopefully. I got a feeling that it's kind of like a base station 2 size. That sort of size. Maybe a little bit snugger than that. Kind of that.
I have to say, I wasn't overly impressed by the audio demo, but I think it looks really interesting. It's really, the layout of the whole thing is fascinating to me. So I'd like to get my hands on one and have a play with it. Certainly. I suspect there's better sounds in there than we heard on that demo. I mean, it's a demo, for God's sake, but that didn't overly impress me, the actual audio bit, Oh, there's some. Bagel says there's some SoundCloud demos, so I need to go and have a listen.
Yeah,
on their website.
I was going to say, you listen to the other sound demos. Gives a bit more of a spectrum on what it's capable of doing. I love the look of this thing. I think
the layout's great.
Very, very. It's one of the most modern synths I've seen in ages. Most modern looking, what I would consider modern.
Yeah.
So I haven't quite seen that kind of style and design before. So
I mean, we know you don't get out much, Chris. But
yeah, well,
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Takes one to know one. Oh, that's right, you do get out. Yeah, no, it sounded. Although that demo was, it was a kind of a main room sort of demo, if you know what I mean. It was kind of trying to be, cover all the bases and grab the headlines and stuff like that. But it was still very well crafted, I thought, and nicely balanced. I just kept on wanting the drums to come in. That was really annoying. But that's not what a synth demo is meant to be about, Chris. Yes. So it's interesting, very interesting.
It's got bypassable digital effects in it, DSP effects, that you can actually see how you've got those main outs and the aux outs on it. So so optional voice channeling, that sort of stuff on it. And the fact that it's DCO means that they get to do a little bit more fancier things with the oscillator. Back on your point, but if you look at that sort of interface design, you can see how you can visually create things like envelopes and things like that, Chris. I always like that sort of stuff where
I love it. Yeah,
you can sort of, to me, that's what a hardware synth needs to have. It needs to have that visual feedback of what you're actually doing.
I think these days you need more than just knowledge, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, knowledge is one thing. I think we need to move on from there. I think we need to use everything that's available to us to improve our creativity, to inspire us.
Yeah.
So
I like the little hexagonal pads. The way the pads are laid out.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's different and it looks really cool.
The 6-part multi-timbral is the bit that kind of got me scratching my head, because it's only 6 voices. So, but that means that you could have 6 mono synths of different sounds in this thing.
How about if we remember the DSi Tetra?
Yeah, like the 4-part multi-timbral.
That had 4-part multi-timbral, and everyone said the same thing. Why?
Oh, it was brilliant. It was.
Well, I did go back and see my name that synth entry from God knows when. plug. Shameful.
Each of those oscillators,
it was a good entry.
Each of those oscillators has different engines as well, which can all be updated via firmware. So it comes with things like twin oscillators and super saws and organ bits and bobs, and then the fact that there's the ability to update via software is makes it like kind of almost infinitely expandable. Really,
the benefit of DCOs. There you go.
Yeah, indeed.
Yep.
I'll be interested to know what technology. I'll be interested to learn what technology the oscillators are based on. Is that's a combination of
that is a
demon core. Is their demon core?
If you go to their website, which I just had up before, and literally just click on that link, I'll actually go back to it for you. Literally click on this link, which says Demon Core Oscillator right there.
Okay.
Click on that and go and read. It will tell you all about what that oscillator, and that's a fantastic, Robbie, Eurorack module that you can buy.
I waited until they put it into a box and made it a proper synth.
Yeah. Stay strong, Rob. Stay strong, Rob. We are not alone.
Right.
I'm time poor.
So this thing is pretty awesome. In my opinion. Okay, so Ian, you sort of mentioned that you weren't wowed by the audio demo. I think give it in the hands of some more people, and you may be.
I think that's what I'm looking forward to hearing. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like if I was given that synth, you probably wouldn't be wowed by the audio demo, but maybe in about 6 years' time after I've worked out how to use it, I might be. Anyway, we shall continue on with this fantastic segment of products that have been released during the week.
Hang on.
We've got a Henrik hand up, and we cannot go past him. There we go.
I agree on the demo for this one was not the best. But what I wanted to mention was the reason why the cable was connected as it was in the previous one. Well, I was doing some graphics on Midjourney, some thumbnails for future shows, and each time this happened, I hope you can see it.
Duplication.
Four old scientists with beard measuring a synth and it's cut off.
But the keyboard was reversed each time.
Wow.
Yeah, but then it fits the picture you showed before of that synthesizer.
Reverse your synth, people. Yeah, that's the message of today.
That's actually how to play.
Yeah.
We've been playing it wrong all these years. Who knew?
Yeah, exactly. And no matter what I did, I made hundreds of pictures of old men with synthesizers, wizards.
You need to get out more.
Yeah, I know. But I had to use use up the amount I have
Credits.
available. Yeah, the credits. Yeah. So I did a lot. But every time the keyboard was reversed like this.
How odd.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Look at that. I can control his sharing. Look at that. I have the power, everybody.
I know.
I have the video and I have the share. Look at this. It is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we move on, people, to the next? We shall. Fantastic. Next. Bzzzt. Yes.
Yes.
Behringer have been teasing us for, I think, about 4 years now that they're going to do a Jupiter clone. And here it is, the JT16. So where it is now is it's at that kind of not so much a prototype anymore. It's more sort of like into the software development and testing stage. Well, I kind of don't mind this getting sort of dragged through a journey of the production of a synthesizer. I find it interesting because I'm a bit nerdy with the techo sort of stuff. So, but anyway, I don't doubt that this thing will sound pretty accurate because the engineers that have produced a lot of the Roland remake stuff from Behringer so far have been pretty accurate with a lot of stuff. The only thing though that, and I'm sure Kent, who's in chat, will probably be screaming at his screen right now, is that the Jupiter 8 oscillators are different to things like, obviously they're not 3340 chips, they're not the same as the System 100Ms, they're different discrete oscillators, I guess. So we have to make sure that Behringer are doing that, otherwise it's really not a Jupiter. So that's kind of the most important thing, and I believe this is the case from what I've been told. Noticing too that the color of the buttons are around the other way, is that right? I think.
Yeah.
Just in case Roland's
whatever it takes,
ringing them.
Whatever it takes.
Anyway, thoughts about this?
I probably made it in mid-journey.
Who's always wanted a Jupiter 8? I mean, hands up. I've always wanted one.
Yeah.
So,
not bothered.
and who thought that the DeepMind 12 was probably missing a proper second oscillator? I thought that second oscillator was a bit not really a true oscillator. That was kind of like a,
DeepMind, yeah.
So this is kind of like a, this is not a Juno. This is supposed to be a Jupiter, so it's a different oscillator anyway. But I feel a lot more people will enjoy this. But 16 voice analog, that's pretty big. That's going to be meaty. But
it is missing something.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's something with the pitch envelopes and stuff like that, which is not on this one.
Down the bottom left-hand corners where they would have had that stuff. I'm pretty sure that's there.
There was someone who wrote about the JP, some of the rack models of from Roland.
Yeah.
4,000 and 8,000 or something like that, which had some functions this one doesn't have, and they were newer versions of the old Jupiter. So
I don't know. I mean, you're probably right, but one thing that Behringer do, and they have proven they've done this before, is like even with the Pro 800, they do their research on what has been modded and what's been successful from the original product, and the UBXA is a good example of that. So when you look at their recent Oberheim clone, they put the second with the buttons on the original Oberheim, all you had was just the one label, but on that you had a shift feature and you didn't actually know what those shift features were with the buttons. But on the Behringer, it's actually written there in a sort of darker grey color. So there's little things that they've done like that show that they've got some people in the background with knowledge that have used these products for a long time, and they they're doing their research. So I mean, how old is the Jupiter 8 now? It's like
42 years.
40 years old.
It was 82, wasn't it?
42 years.
No, was it?
Yeah.
Someone will tell
It's
us.
like saying we're old.
It's at least 40, isn't it? You know?
I mean, 40 years. There's got to be some documentation, forums, blah blah blah, about what they wish the Jupiter 8 should have had. And Behringer probably would have been listening to that.
81. Sorry, 81.
81. Okay,
That's right. 1981.
there you go. Brooksy says it's 82. You guys can find it out in chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, this is
He
wiki.
says tomato.
This is
Did
wiki.
the original have MIDI?
Hi, Andrew.
Probably not.
No, it didn't.
No. It had CV controls, and it had that the Roland DIN sync, I believe, if I remember
There's
rightly.
plenty of MIDI mod kits for the originals,
Yeah.
but I thought it was missing that LFO trigger button, but it's not. It's in just black, and so you can't really see it on that left-hand
Can't really
panel.
see
So
it.
Yeah,
there's a lot there. You probably, if you zoom in, you probably find that it is quite close in terms of functionality.
Can I zoom in on that?
I like these. I only like really when I first saw one of these was probably Howard Jones leaning over his on the cover of New Song, and I'm thinking, look at that, that's amazing. It's all colours and big, and I wanted to be Howard Jones so much that I just assumed that that's what I needed. I was one of those kids that you see somebody using something, that's what I need to be famous. But I don't know. The more I've heard of the Jupiter over the years, the 8 anyway, I'm not hugely blown away by it.
The gloss has tarnished.
Yeah, well, there's you learn, don't you? You learn there's actually there are
That's
better
right.
synths out there. But this is a nice thing, and look, if they're going to do it at 899 like they've done the UBXA and presumably the UBX, which they're now saying is at prototype stage as well. It seems like they found a 61 note, 16 voice analog platform to build upon, and they're now banging these out all in pretty much the same form factors.
It's like a tooling thing, isn't it, at the factory? Yeah.
It's the way that these things are built now. You look at how many Korg do it, Modal do it, Sonicware do it. They all have a platform, and car manufacturers have been doing it for decades. Have a platform and then build lots of different chassis to go on top, and it looks like they've done that. And if they can knock out 16 voice analog polysynths with poly aftertouch and all of those features and sounds of those classic synths that people seem to crave so much, well, you'd be stupid not to. I can't say I'm a massive fan for other reasons, but hey, I'm certainly interested in having a go on some of these, and if one of them appeals to me greatly, I probably won't hesitate if I can find somewhere to put it.
I'm dying to know what 16 voices sounds like as a Jupiter 8, because it's like 2 Jupiter 8s, right? And have they done it properly? Like, they haven't done how Roland brought out the Super JX, where it was basically 2
Super Saw.
Yeah, it's two JX 8Ps.
Yeah.
So because I had the MKS 70, and it wasn't really properly 12 voices. It was whatever it was.
2 sets of 8.
2 6 voice, synths. If they've done it so it's truly a 16 voice analog poly, it's going to sound pretty meaty indeed, and it will definitely sound different to a Jupiter 8, and people will be whinging about it because they won't remember, hang on a minute, maybe I should scale back the fact that it's got 16 voices down to 8 or something.
But you're wondering how it will sound with 16 voices. It will sound like you're using 2 cheeks when you sit on the keypad.
2 R sticks, yes, very good.
Yeah, I have to say I'm not excited by this particularly. I'll have a play with it. I certainly wouldn't want to buy one. I always hankered after the Jupiter 4. I always wanted the Jupiter. Always. I know
the ProMars poly version.
Yeah, I love the fact it had buttons underneath and the whole thing.
It's a different sound too.
It is a different sound, and I have played a Jupiter 4, and I think I've played one of these in the studio, but I've slept a lot since then. So I'm quite pleased that for 800 euros or $800 or pounds is a good price for this synth. I think really, you know, if it sounds somewhere close, you know, but not for me.
Yeah.
It has to be for me to put another keyboard in, even with a slightly bigger studio when I move. It has to be something special. I'm not looking to put any more keyboards in. I'm much more interested in small boxes.
I reckon they'll probably do a module version like they did with the DeepMind. So
yeah,
it's likely because they've
Definitely
definitely
in
got
module,
skin in the game. They've done it before. They're definitely good at building modules too. They've got their whole suite of modules that you've got already. You know, I don't know if
teased the UBXA desktop, haven't they?
Yeah, we'll show that in a minute, I think too.
Andy Brooks is asking if the cream coloured box behind me is an amp. Yes, it's a guitar struck keyboard struck bass amp from Yamaha. It's one of their little boutique things.
Brilliant. Right. What's next? Next is, when it comes up, this weird looking thing, the Ono Sendai Spherical Sound Society. It's one of those little project type, is it an Etsy website? I think it is. I don't know, I kind of felt this was kind of interesting because it has, you'll see in a minute with the video, but it has kind of like this Micro Freak-esque sort of feel to it, and I do like the Micro Freak. But it does use 54 modes of braids from Mutable Instruments and plats. It allows you to play chromatically with a MIDI keyboard and everything. So this is one of these little projects that you would, you know, I think Henrik would probably like something like this because he likes these sort of these little things.
And on this one, the USB is on the front, unless this is the backside.
Well, let's have a listen anyway, see what you can think of this. It's not a bad little video. Reminds me of the Aphex Twin mod on the PlayStation.
Oh yeah, in fast switching between between programs.
Pretty cool, that little thing. You'll be pretty impressed with the price. It's only $159 for that. It is missing a case, and it's missing the lipstick and mascara. But that's kind of not why you buy this sort of thing.
It's only for pigs, Rance. It's only for pigs.
Yeah. Put a cherry on a turd, and it looks good. No, it's the RP2040 processor. Henrik, I know you're interested in that. So they did steal the code from the.
But is it included?
I don't know. Look, we can have a look at the Etsy store.
That may be why it's so cheap.
The complete kit includes the microcontroller. Let me just read this again. The complete kit includes the microcontroller. You can get the fully assembled kit for $158.67 US, or the do a DIY, put it all together yourself kit for $130 US, and it includes the microcontroller. Or you can just buy the PCB itself and the microcontroller. And I believe the reason why he's selling the microcontroller, Henrik, is because he's already flashed the firmware on it, so that way you don't have to muck around with that sort of stuff, because it can be a little technical for some people to do.
Tricky sometimes.
A little tricky, yeah.
Obtuse, I would call it.
They're shipping in February, 7th to the 15th of February. He's saying the final look will kind of look slightly different, but the photos I actually do have a different photo. Maybe I'll bring the Etsy store up here. It's a different photo on the Etsy store. It looks probably a little bit neater, to be fair. I should probably show that. Where is it? There. I'll bring this up for you guys. It kind of looks a little cleaner on here. There.
Well,
So-
it's just a freshly made PCB. That's
a little cleaner than maybe that, but that's not.
it kind of looks like a pop prototype, doesn't it? And the other one looks like production one. Yeah.
That one's missing knobbage, of course, but you can put your knobbage on it yourself. I know not everyone is interested in this sort of stuff, but I like to show it because we do have quite a lot of people who are into the sort of DIY synth world.
The little affordable park bench compatible things. Probably run that off a power bank, couldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. It'd
Have
be
some
very
fun.
low powered, that thing. So MIDI controllable, standard sort of 3.5mm stereo out. And I liked the whole kind of really, really quickly scrolling through the presets because you kind of get that real glitchy sort of sounding stuff. And I don't know if you noticed, but on the video, he was even able to adjust the envelope. So some of the, some of the sounds kind of were shortened, and then it kind of gave it a bit more of a musical sort of feel to it. Handmade. Does that make any difference?
Well, that stuff's handmade.
Was it made by dog's paws or? I don't know what that means.
No cats involved.
No cats involved. Yeah. Anyone want to comment on this before we move on?
It's good.
If just a reminder too, if I do link anything in the show, down below where you see the title and you see that little Ranzee.com link, that's where the blog article is that gets released around about 12 hours or so after the show airs, and you'll find all the links to everything that we show, including videos and websites and photos, all that sort of stuff is in that. So if you do forget, you can always come back, copy that link and paste it into your browser, and away you go. And let's click next, because now we have something that Robbie loves. Yes, Eurorack. That's what it is, baby.
Not Eurorack again, Rant. Oh.
I'm just going to go use a little boy's room.
I have an evil laugh. Actually, this is pretty cool. You may want to watch this. I don't know. What this is the Major Tom by Non-Modular, and this is a sequencer designed for percussive synthesis. And what you're seeing here is kind of like the prototypey sort of looking thing. I've got a video of it in action. In fact, I actually think some of you guys will like the look of this thing. Let's have a look at the video, because that way I can shut up. So this thing's a 4-track sequencer, and it does specialize in, as I said before, percussive / drum type sequencing. But it also is expandable up to 12 tracks with an expander module, and I think on their website there's some information about that. It's $690 so it is a little bit on the pricey side. It is quite a big module too. But as you can see with this module, this is purposely meant to be big because they want you to play with those knobs. And if you're looking at it from a point of view of there's 4, sort of row, 4 columns where you're sort of mucking around with each of them. And it's kind of weird how he's done it. It's kind of gone down and then up and then down and then up with the controls. But that's so he can fit those bigger knobs in. I don't know. It's interesting, but the polyrhythmic features with the sequencer is probably the bigger part with this. It kind of gave me a bit of a... Do you remember the Noodler from Conductive Labs? It kind of gave me a bit of that sort of feel with the way the sequencer worked. It was kind of more almost arpeggiator type pattern type style, if that sort of makes sense. But yeah. Any want to comment?
I would have loved to hear it without the claves. I really don't like that sound.
Yeah.
If there's a sound,
and the price is too high.
It's one of those. It's one of those smaller sort of companies. Yeah.
It's stunning looking. I mean, that screen is lovely. I love the little round screen. We're seeing more and more round screens. I love it.
Lots of round screens.
I want to put something with a round screen on myself, but haven't worked out what to do with it yet. But it's nice looking. But yeah, a bit one-dimensional. But some people really like that. I mean, they like to tunnel down a particular, route and explore it fully, and then come out and go around a different route. So this might be something people buy, play with, use for a year or two. It's the greatest thing in the world, and then they sell it on.
Yep.
Could be one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
Because it'll probably keep its value. It'll probably keep its value because if it's a short run thing.
Well, this is a Kickstarter. Shall we have a little look at the Kickstarter? Where we go this way. So no modular. I don't think they've kind of got everyone backing this yet, but it's close. I think there was like about 5,000 to go on it. So it's close, but not many days left.
I need to say, I sound very negative. So I did like the noise sounds. I did like the hi-hats and those things. So I would like to see more demos. Or here. It's interesting, but still quite expensive.
And look how much eurorack's rack space that would take if you expanded it with those 4 major tom expanders.
Oh, wow.
There's the photo there.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
That would be a massive amount of HP.
I dig the way they've made it modular, though. I mean, the actual individual track is an individual module as well.
So you get 4 there, and then you get 2.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, it's a pair. Sorry,
yeah.
Good point, yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep. The knobs has the pattern variation on the big one. That's why that's why it's the big one. And then the smaller ones is the last step and the sequencer time shift. So that's where you get your polyrhythms and stuff in there.
Yeah, Yep. Although that is fairly basic Euclidean, so there's nothing much extra there.
Well, that's the thing. You can do this with I don't know, Euclidean.
Quite
you can do this
a
with
lot
Pamela's New Workout, or Metropolis, or
and you don't have to do it in Eurorack, do you?
You don't have to do it in Eurorack.
There's a lot of software solutions that do it as well.
Sometimes people buy these things though because they want to. They're an artist and they perform at cafes or whatever, and they want it to be a visual thing as well. So they'll have their kit set up, and people are looking at their back, but they're actually not really looking at them. They're looking at their hands and touching all these wires and stuff, and it's kind of that. I don't know. They wear a beanie and have tats and piercings, and that's them. It's not me.
Everyone's different. Until we start seeing more and more EMOMs where, there's the big screen rather than having like fancy graphics or images, it has just a close-up of one of the modules for the whole show. That's when we know we've jumped the shark.
Yeah. I think Jamie was trying to do that. I'm not sure how successful he's been with it, but Anyway, I mentioned the price $690. I thought it was a little bit pricey, but it is a Kickstarter, and Details, as I said, in the link below. If you need it, there it is. Major Tom, it is. Ground control. No.
And cool name.
Keeping on the Eurorack world, we do have this thing from ADAX Systems. Now, ADAX Systems don't get a lot of mention, I don't think, in the big wide world. They've made quite a few interesting products in the past, and I kind of feel like their products are quite unique in the development. I feel like some of their ideas end up in desktop or full-size keyboard synths and other types of gear sequences and stuff like that, because they're actually quite intuitive, some of their development. So what this is called the swell physics. I don't have a video for this, but I do want to tell you about it because it's only just been released by them. And what it is it's a CV modulator based on the physics of ocean swells. So if you've ever seen any sort of like National Geographic or BBC sort of documentaries that talk about this, how the ocean moves and swells and currents and stuff like that.
Sounds like mutables tides.
Yeah, possibly. But I'm not sure because I couldn't. Normally they would give a nod if they were going to use mutables code, because that's kind of the best, especially at ADAX Systems, they're kind of well respected. I don't know if it is because they didn't say anything about it. But let's watch this bass on this one anyway. Price, it is $320, and really what you would do with this is, if you're ever wondering what do I do with a CV controller, it's basically, I kind of felt, Henrik, like it was more like marbles in that sense, because it was more sort of sequency in that sense, from what I could work out. But it's very, by the way, ADAX System stuff looks like this. It's either red or it's black with these massive knobs on it. So this is kind of their, this is their sort of style. Yeah. Yep. Right, let's keep going.
That style.
Another one. This one was introduced by Ben, who you guys know as DivKid. I don't have his permission to show his video, so I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to like sort of scroll through the video. Now this, I think some of you guys will be interested in. This is called the Atlas. It's by Vostok Instruments. This is a quad VCF, and it's full multi-mode resonant filters with low pass, band pass, and high pass. And the bit down the bottom is called it's called a interpolating scanner, or we'll just call it a scanner for ease. And basically what it does, if you slide that slider across, it merges through with a nice kind of what's the word, morphing sort of feel to it, sound morphing feel between each of the filters. So from a playability, you've got all the different instruments plugged into each filter, and you can have them all piped out into mixes and stuff like that. But with that bottom one, you can actually morph through them. And I would love to show you, but I'm not allowed to because I didn't get permission from Ben. And I always get copyright claims if I do show his videos. But I will show you, like here his video is here. Do check it out because he's gone to a lot of detail, like he always does, where he's showing different types of patches with this thing, and it's insane what he's done with this filter. It's just a filter, right? It's 4 filters, but some of the things that he's done with this, and you'll think, wow, I didn't actually know you could do that with a filter. Like for example, he's patched the the high pass into a low pass, and then he's blending the two together using that scan thing. So there's some very interesting stuff. Henrik's got like really cool bird's eye view with everything today. So let me turn him off. I've got to remember to turn you off up there. So yeah, the Atlas by Vostok Instruments, $320, same price as the other one, but one module with 4 filters in it, and and they're resonant. I don't know, up to you guys. Pity there wasn't a video from the company that I could share.
Yeah.
This is the world of Eurorack, people, where things are done on the cheap, I guess. But next is this one, is the Pico Loops by Xils-labs. Sorry if I mispronounce everything, because I tend to, and bad luck if you don't like it. I do have a video for these guys. I actually think this is interesting. Not going to be for me.
It's a scary woman. That's a scary picture of a woman.
Not going to be for me, but some people will like the idea of this. Anyway, what this is a lo-fi mangler sample player. And if you see that slider on the left-hand side, what that does is that kind of slides between, different samples that you've got playing, and you've got different controls down the bottom for the samples. And behind this thing is a Raspberry Pi Pico. It's capable of holding up to 8 minutes of 33K monophonic samples, tempo synced, between 60 and 300 BPM. The samples are mangled by a beat sync effects like a stutter, a retrigger, or a gate, or even a tunneling feature. I don't even know what that is, but it may be as a demo. There's a 128-step sequence recorder playback into this thing, and you can load and save things via the EEPROM for instant patch record. There's a USB-C sync thing as well on this. But let's have a look at the vid.
But that's on the backside, isn't it?
The USB, I think, is on the back side. I can't see it on the front. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no SD card or USB. It's a pity.
So that would be the stutter. There we go.
Looks like a lot of fun.
I like it.
I mean, it's a sample player, but with a bit of fun with it. I think, like you said, someone said this face looks a bit scary. I think I would definitely want to change the face on that.
I'm not a fan of the front panel or the knobs.
No.
Especially the way the knobs start to blend as if they're camouflaging. They're trying to hide from us. Camouflage ball.
$200.
That's pretty good.
I thought that was pretty good. Xils-labs, I think I said it was, didn't I? I can show you guys the.
It's monophonic. Or
monophonic, but it does have panning on it. So on the actual module itself, I believe one of the thing was panning. Well, actually, no. How can it be? How could they have panning on it if it's just mono out? Anyway,
maybe it's a stereo. Could be a stereo one.
$219. I must have misread the price. Where are we? That one.
Yeah.
But in my early days, I used a lot of beats under my music and added drums on that. So I still do that on some songs. So it would fit perfectly into my setup. I don't need stereo when it's only a small beat below the other drums. So it would be perfect for me, I think.
I kind of feel like they've missed a trick with this though, and maybe a little bit of a rethink with it. Like, so number one is, I agree with you, Henrik, it needs to have the USB on the front, but that's not the trick that I think they've missed. I think the trick is that when you've got, what did they say, how many samples can you play? I forget how many. There was a number, right?
I forgot.
They should, each of them should have their individual outs, right? And then you should have the mix as an out, and the mix will be what you're controlling with that slider. But you should also be able to individually outplay, because the way I see it is those samples are either they're constantly playing, or that they've got this Raspberry Pi, souped up on hydrogen or something, and it's like instantly starting these samples each time that he's going to the next section, which kind of feels a bit weird. So how does it sort of stay in sync and all that sort of stuff? So for me, if you had individual outs of each of the samples plus the mix, then you've got yourself a bit more of a usable module.
Be as it may, of course, that does mean you need a DAC for every single individual output. It's a lot of DAC.
That would be
100 DACs on one module. Really?
At $4 each.
I think it's simple how it's working. You, for example, you're only changing address bits from 10 and above.
It's easy to keep a pointer,
and then you are still at the same point in the groove. You're just changing the address of the sample.
Yeah.
How would you get it? Like, let's say I sampled Led Zeppelin's famous drum beat, and then I sampled Dire Straits' famous drum beat from their Communique album, and all pick all these 1970s, 80s drum beats, and you put them all in there, and then you would have to BPM match all these drum beats, right? Then you would have to. I don't know if this thing is doing all that. That's kind of what I'm saying. So I think this thing is going to require you to have a bit of pre-thought before you chuck them all on.
Curation of samples might be necessary.
Yeah,
it may require preparation, which a lot of people are into. So that might not be an issue for them. But for some people, it might be like, I can't just drop them in there. They're all different lengths. Why doesn't it work it out for me?
Yeah, and then
it's not what I wanted.
You're gonna it's gonna sound like us when you try it out, because you're just like, hang on, I've chucked 4 or 5 samples on there, it doesn't work.
Yeah, you can imagine someone saying, "Oh, it doesn't stay in sync," and someone saying, "Well, they're different lengths." And I'm saying, "What do you mean? What difference does that make?" It's like, okay, different audience.
Yeah, and I don't think a Raspberry Pi would be able to. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it'd be able to handle that
beat detection. Yeah, that's pretty fancy. Ableton.
When I say Raspberry Pi, I mean a Pico. I'm not talking about a fully fledged Raspberry Pi. A Pico, they're cut down, so they're not they're not as powerful. For example, if you're using a Raspberry Pi Pico with DXed, right, you can only have one DX7 synth in there. But if you're using a proper Raspberry Pi, you can have lots. How many?
Even Zero does 8. That surprised me. I didn't think it was going to do 8, but I ran the software and it said, "Yeah, I got 8 voices." I went, okay.
Or 8 voices, or 8 DX7s.
8 DX7s is what allows you to still edit.
Okay.
So
that's 8,
and I played them all on.
That's
different
8 times. That's 8 times 16.
I know. So I don't know if it starts to glitch, or
it might be able to.
Maybe it catches on fire.
The bloody GoPro was catching on fire before.
GoPros do that.
It's hot in Australia, people. If you ever, I love Australia. It's amazing. The blue sky, and like you melt every day. Don't buy Cadbury chocolate because it comes home as a liquid and you put a straw in it. No. Anyway.
I wish it was warmer here. I really do.
I'm teasing people.
Yeah,
right.
Here you break your teeth on chocolate.
Okay, we did briefly mention this before. This is the Behringer on their Facebook saying, "Oh, look what we built." So what's this called? The UBX. All right. Talk to me, guys. What is this? What is this UBX? What's this about? Is this another Oberheim thing?
It's another
OBX. Oberheim thing.
But they've done the OBXA, now they're doing the OBX. They were different things. So
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Different. This is supposed to be based on more discrete circuitry for the oscillators. Whereas
so which is better, the UBX or the UBXA?
The one that you prefer the sound of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like the look of the other one better. I love the little pinstripes and everything. Personally, that's just me though. But I'm sure everyone will have their arguments about this. Is this? I don't really know much about this. I'm guessing this is another 16 voice champion as well, or what would this be? Anyone know?
The original was based on the SEM circuitry, whereas the OBX-A wasn't.
Yeah.
So this is going to be more like a SEM-like sound
Yep.
than the other one. And some people prefer that, and that's really the key point here. It's, you know, pick the one that you prefer the sound of, and
The flavour you like.
I remember Dave Spears talking about this because he's a SEM freak, as you know, and he has the SEM. Is it the 4-voice SEM? I think he's got, or he might have the
he's got an 8-voice,
8-voice SEM, which is a
and an
monolith.
OB1. And
Yeah.
he's got all pretty much.
Yeah, but I just remember him talking about this particular, not this Behringer one, but the Oberheim version, as they're having some issues with it. It wasn't kind of as good as the 4-voice or the 8-voice. It was different again, because they had to make compromises with the way that the voicing structure was integrated.
This was more of a transitional instrument, I guess, in their history. They'd come from, you know, this massive SEM-based situation where it was just huge and unwieldy, and they wanted to get it into something more compact because that's the way that everyone wanted their synths those days. So they came up with this, and then, you know, progressed onto the A and beyond. So this is just Behringer taking advantage of the fact that, you know, they can produce these things now and stick a new paint job on. I'd like to know exactly what, if they've actually made internal differences inside this one as opposed to the A, and what those differences are. Have they tried to replicate the specific chips and circuitry, or have they just tweaked the platform a little bit to give it a slightly different sound? I don't know. I'd like to see a bit more detail, but of course this is Behringer and we don't get huge amounts of information from them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have to wait.
And is it poly aftertouch? And
Well, one would assume so. If they're going to
Does it
put
support
it in the other
MPE?
one, they might as well put it in this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would actually like some normal ones with normal aftertouch, just to have some cheaper things than the UBX-A. It would be nice to have something.
You can always plug your MIDI
a
controller
few
into
hundred
it.
euros or whatever.
I'd be
That
interested.
solves that
I'd
problem.
love someone to do a teardown of one of these once they get them. You know, if they've got the
Oh, they will.
just
Surely.
because I want to see what's going on inside and what they've done, and particularly that poly.
Send one to him.
I've
Yeah,
done
send
teardown
one to-
videos
send one to
before.
him.
Yeah.
I did a teardown of the SCO2, and everyone thought I was mad because I bought it with my money, and everyone said, "You're going to void your warranty," and we all talk about that repairability thing that has been going around the world for a few years. You do not void your warranty if you open this thing up, people.
Just because you cut a sticker that says you will void your warranty if you
it's
cut the
against the
sticker
law.
doesn't mean that you will.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you want to have a look at something inside, you are welcome. You own it. You bought it. It doesn't void warranties. They can try all they like, but the government will protect you. Anyway, David's tuned in to the Zooms. He's zooming in. Hi, David. How are you, mate?
Hi, Dave.
Afternoon. I'm good. Real good.
Woolly
Yeah, this
Bully
is
in the
fun.
background.
I know. If I do it
yes.
this right, sometimes I get the horns. But I only do that for business costs. I only need my horns. This is a nice day.
So yeah, we're talking about this thing, the Behringer. They've had two cracks during the week. At Facebook, they've released the JT16, and they've now released this thing. Not when I say released, they haven't released it to the wild yet. It's
They
still
just want attention.
they want attention. I kind of feel
two cracks. Is it a 32 or?
yeah. You know what I feel? I feel like when we're kind of happy. Like there'd be a lot of Oberheim people like that would be hating on Behringer because they would be like, well, Oberheim are still making synths. You know, what the hell are you doing? But to me, I personally feel that Behringer need to pump out some of those things that no one's making anymore. Like they just released the Cobol expander. So to me,
That was fun.
I don't have a problem with that because RSF don't exist. and I think they only made like 5 of those things anyway. So, you know, it's good that they're doing stuff like that. And what happened to that other thing that was the Neutron version 2? What was it called? Something else? Proton? I don't know. You guys remember what that was?
Proton. Yeah. That was it.
Where's that?
What happened to that?
Yeah, what happened to that? So, I'm cool that I know there's a lot of people that would love the cheap versions of the behind with the Behringer logo on it. I'm sure there's a lot of people. I mean, I'm guilty. I bought the Pro 800, right? But Sequential or Dave Smith or whatever they're going to call Novation, whatever they're going to call themselves now, they don't have the Pro, 800 as a synth that they're offering anymore. So I kind of felt okay with that one. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's me.
I feel something's about to get broken behind David.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a cat on the
No comment.
on the buffet cupboard.
Cleo is prowling.
Yeah.
No, that's a different one.
Now, if you
That's
guys
a different.
if you guys are wondering how the hell did Dave get on the show, he snuck in. Like I've left the back door open. He snuck in and he's clicked on this link, and he snuck in through the back door. You guys can do that as well.
Wow.
I dare Wagoo to jump on. That's what I dare.
Yeah,
I do too.
Well, all his opinions.
Mr. Google.
Show your face, Mr. Wagoo.
And then your gear again.
Yeah, and your racks. Have your racks behind you.
He's going to need a bigger camera.
You know what? I feel that his house now is actually not made of brick. It's literally made of 19-inch racks, and it's just got a roof on top of it.
Yeah. The racks are the foundation now. They're like the.
Yes.
You're
long
assuming that
studs.
he lives in a house. I mean, I thought he just lived underground in a server farm.
He probably does in a data center somewhere, eating pizza every day, plugging in network cables.
Oh,
Look at me, the IT
himself.
guy.
He's
Yes.
all right. He's from Yorkshire.
He is.
He is Borg. He has been assimilated.
Okay, one more product to show, and then I want to show you something more serious than this next one. This one's just a leak, and that is the Akai. It's not a leak. It's going to happen. It's the MPC Key 37. Why is it MPC Key 37? I hate that. Do you not know how to bloody talk English properly? It's MPC keys. There's more than one key on it. What is this thing just in the key of C? What is it in? Come on, people. Get it right.
It's less ink. Makes it cheaper.
one less letter to write.
One key.
It's like
Cost cutting. Yes.
when you go and order your udon noodle, and they say it's
Or dare I say, NPC users only play one key at a time.
Oh,
£5 for your udon.
that's fighting talk, I think, Rob. For some people.
I think we mentioned this earlier. I kind of feel like this is probably going to sell more than the 61 key, because I feel this is more sort of suited to that DJ / beat maker market. It's probably a bit of a tighter form factor. Watch the space. I don't know about the red. I know Akai like the red. Maybe they've
I
got
like the
different
red.
colours.
Red's okay.
I like the
They
red.
like red and gold, don't they? They're really kind of blingy sort of colours, aren't they? I'm not a big fan of the red personally.
I mean, I listened, as Paul Robbie said earlier about the 61. I played it at Gearfest, I think it was, and was really underwhelmed by the whole thing. Really,
Yeah.
The load times were horrendous. I mean, the firmware might have improved.
Yeah, they were at
but it was
first.
terrible, but it was, not great, is what I would have said. This I think this will sell better to the right person.
Yeah. Kent has arrived. I'm not sure if he's arrived properly. It says Kent's iPad.
Oh yeah, his iPad has detached himself and just gone downstairs bored. And he's just
Yeah.
Or one of these dogs got
Well,
his
let's
iPad.
iPad in. That's fine.
Kent's
Hijacked.
iPad, is it?
We'll talk to Ken's iPad.
He's probably trying to work out how to get
Ken-
this thing to work, to be fair. Now, let me see if he's muted himself. Oh no, he's here he goes, he's working. Guys,
I'm working.
he's working. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
He's in a car.
I'm in a car.
He's down the shops, everyone.
Look, it's an unusual place to be.
Grab us a pint, mate.
Look at my head.
That's remarkable.
God's sake.
I have to put product to get my.
I
hair
don't know
like
what you're
that,
trying
Ken.
to approve there, mate.
You gotta put a hat on.
Now,
Here.
This makes me want this.
There we go.
Oh,
Very quick now.
Looks like
Want to hear
Assassin-
that?
it's like Assassin's Creed or something.
Yes. it
yeah, I
does.
want to hear it. Yeah, go, you Rev. Go, you Rev, head you. We'll put us up in the corner there. There we go.
The memory Moog of cars.
Mm.
That's not a good thing.
As your wanker's cramp.
It hurt. It hurt.
Did you hear about the Irish circumciser? No.
Oh,
Now, just
Not
quickly
go there.
pop in. You know, you're saying about Behringer making something that hasn't been or is no longer available and would be worthwhile doing,
Yeah.
would be the RMI Harmonix synthesizer.
Oh yeah, that one's a
that trip
beauty.
again.
That's a great idea.
Mm.
I know who's got
I'd
one
buy
too. French guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
You know the one
So
with skulls and planets and eyes and stuff. That guy. And phaser pedals.
yeah, he got one, didn't he?
I don't know if
Very
he still
high
got it though. I know he used it in the earlier albums. I don't know if he still got it because it's a pretty big thing, right?
He tends
Yeah.
not to throw anything away.
He does. That's true.
Yeah.
How many of those are there lurking in the wild? That's the question. Wouldn't be that many.
I don't think they built many of them.
You sure there's not one in the garage?
Yeah,
Well,
you,
I could
have one.
check.
You must have one, Ken.
If I find one, do you want it, Robbie?
If you find it, let us know.
Just thinking of dual manual DX1. What do you reckon, Rob?
Dual manual DX1. I don't reckon they could do it.
Oh, you just try to push another DX1 this way.
Yeah, we take up a lot of room.
Yeah, that's sat down in Suffolk will take it, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, no, I thought I'd just say, yeah, RMI.
Hmm.
Behringer are listening.
I don't know if anyone suggested it either.
Don't know. But that's something that could really do with coming back.
It definitely had a unique sound.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, the Elka Eminence, right? The organ, the 310, I think it was, right? How much different was that thing from the Selena?
It was a Selena in it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, they just dumped the boards in.
Yeah, because Elka took the Selena, didn't they?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a good move because eventually, by going down that route, they suddenly ended up doing the synths
Yeah.
through messing around with stuff and going, oh, hang on a minute, I think we can design something a little bit more interesting than an organ.
Yeah. The thing that makes the synths unique, I feel, though, is the chorus effect on it. Because it's kind of a weirder sort of chorus circuit that I felt than some of the others that are out there. And no, I don't think anyone's gone, oh, here's a guitar pedal with the Elka synths chorus chip in it. Or no one's done that, I don't think. Because it was a little bit more unique. I don't know what sort of, if it's a BBD or if it's discrete or what they've done with it, but yeah.
Yeah, it was trying to remember the board. It was, hello, mate. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I have to go. So
I can put Kent in your spot if you like, Henrik.
it's okay. I can just tell you I have to go. So
Yeah, Henrik.
But it was nice being here today.
Awesome.
Good to see you, Henrik.
Good seeing you.
See you.
Good to see you, mate.
Take
Thanks
care,
for having
Henrik.
You too.
me. Cheers.
Hi, Scott.
Now, which one was
Shooing
Henrik?
him off.
Henrik was he there?
Oh,
That one. There we go. Henrik's gone. Definitely gone because he's disappeared off the face of the earth.
So, wouldn't it be awful? His car got carjacked right then. That would be awful.
Very suspicious. What's going on, Cat?
Did you get a little baggie, mate? Did you?
That was Podela. Do you want me to stop it off?
Yeah.
I was going to say, the problem is he deals in,
We
rare
have to delete this
synthesizers.
part.
Two massive boxes of bloody dog food.
No, you're trying to sell him some of your patch cables. That's what you're trying to do.
But I don't play modular. No. Better.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else worthwhile. RMI. Not the RMI.
Go look in the shed. Go look in your shed, Cat.
Yeah, go in the
I know.
shed. Yeah, they're supposed to be still doing the VCS3 though, aren't they?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Have
I'd buy
they
that.
hit a legal loophole with that? That's what I want to. That's what I want to
might
know.
do. Yeah, because
The last thing they said was that, we've cracked the matrix pin manufacturing variability issue. She said,
That used to be after time, wasn't it? But I don't know. They'll probably bring out the Maximus or something. Piss Tom off.
I honestly think though that if they did bring out the RMI harmonic, I reckon it would make a lot of people scratch their heads though, to be fair. Because I would love it because I understand how it works, but a lot of people don't realize that it's actually monophonic and then it's got the harmonic FM and AM. It's kind of additive in that sense, right? So you'd have to get your head around how you make sounds in that sort of way. But there's that kind of interesting sort of slider thing up, the silver face, and it had the little sliders across it, and you worked your sounds. It was one of those synths that you'd have to take a photo of if you got something that sounded like what you wanted. Oh, that's a nice one. Take a photo.
don't turn off the
I
pen.
like the funky
Yeah,
look.
I mean,
Just
it
looking at
looks-
a picture of it now.
Yeah,
Looks
me
fantastic,
too. Yeah.
doesn't it?
It does. It looks
Yeah.
like something you just want in your studio.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
All the very,
Awesome.
very interesting sounds that are on, Equinox and Oxygen
Yeah.
is that. And not PS 3300 as a lot of people have thought it was. But yeah, I think that's something that could really do with coming back.
Well, there's my friend did a rack extension for Reason. I think I told you about this. It's called the JPS harmonic synthesizer, but it's I couldn't tell you how close it is to the original, but certainly looks the part and it sounds very interesting. But Martinique, who have done that AX73 plugin and something else I can't spring to mind at the moment, they're apparently working on a plugin version of it. I know obviously it's not a piece of hardware, but there's ways to get that sound.
It wouldn't be hard to do in software because the FM and AM stuff would be easy to emulate in software. But the monophonic side may be the bit that might be tricky for them. It depends on how accurate do you want this thing to sound. I personally, I kind of felt like a lot of the sounds that I heard from it were kind of it's kind of like metallic, right? They were kind of metallic, but it didn't sound digital.
Glassy.
It sounded like they were using kind of freaky sort of filter effects and things like that with it, but it wasn't. It was just the way you used additive, development with those oscillators. So, and I remember trying to get some of those sounds from Oxygen and Equinox, and I could never get them. I could get them close, but I could never get them. Like if Magnetic Fields had some really good, harmonic synth sounds in it, like Magnetic Fields Part 4. It had like, the train, and then you had sort of like these percussive sounds going through it. That was from that. And you could never get those sounds from anything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Originally, when you bought that thing, I've just found out that they were like $3,000 in the day. So like that would have been a pretty pricey thing. Like that's kind of up around the sort of same price that 2500s were, and that's how much those sort of, depending on, not the big monolith one that you could get with all the cabinets, but just like a standard sort of 2500 was around the $3,000 in the day. What Moog was around the 3,000. It was the which modular? It was the smaller one, I think.
What sort of year are we talking?
74, 76, somewhere around there.
Well, the Poly Moog would be $5,000.
Yeah.
So, and I think I know which one I'd rather have.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I still wouldn't mind a Liberation. I'd still go a Liberation. I like there's something about that, like having that thing around my neck and like dislocating a few vertebrae.
The bloody thing is so heavy. What the hell? Why?
I know, it was incredible, wasn't it? Yeah.
I'll play this. Oh, never mind. Going to the hospital now.
But the thing with the RM is it had voltage control. It had CV in it because there was no MIDI in those days and everything, right? So it was all voltage control. So you were basically controlling this thing with a 2500, or you were controlling it with a Moog modular or something like that. That was the cool thing about it. So it integrated, and if you think about all the kids today with their Eurorack, so they would love this sort of stuff, with their beanies and their tats and their Eurorack. Sorry, I've done that before.
3-day growth. Yeah.
Couldn't let that go. Couldn't let that go, Rance.
I'm not going to let it go.
The piss out of tonight on the pub. When we go around NAMM.
Unfortunately, NAMM's not awake yet because it's still what is it? I don't know what time it is. 7 in the morning over there.
7 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just almost 7.
They'd probably open their doors like 9 or something, wouldn't they? And most people wouldn't even get there at 9 either. Most people get there after midday.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's by the way, that was it for all the products. By the way, there is one other product I want to show, but I'll give Chris. It's his product, so I'll give him a little special spot for that coming up. But one of the things I was going to say is, I asked Andy Joyce, who was on earlier, what do you guys think when you're walking around NAMM? What do you reckon stole the show? And he seemed to think it was the Korg, the new remake of the Korg. 33. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? You've been watching vids, I'm sure. What are your thoughts?
I think that's the one that, well, so far, that's the one that stole the show. I was quite interested to see the Omnichord come back.
The Suzuki. Yeah.
The Suzuki. I have the Suzuki, the one from the 80s.
You still got it, have you?
Kent's going to fix. I've still got it, yeah. Kent's going to fix it at some point for me. Now he's retired.
Because he's going to have plenty of time, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's all right, there's no rush, Betty.
I know how it works.
Stylophone had a fair bit of stuff to show.
Yeah, they did.
And I think they were getting a few people interested. And I think who was the gent from the UK that was doing the Stylophone stuff? What was his name again?
Matt Hodson.
Matt Hodson, that's right.
It was Matt Hodson, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it was nice to see him there. And they flew him over especially for that. And also the Korg. I thought Korg had a US office, but they flew the guy from the UK over.
Luke.
Yeah.
Well,
so
he's a good
nice
demo guy.
He's pretty good, isn't he?
He's great. He's Luke. Nice guy.
The micro Korg. One of the things we talked about this last week, right? The micro Korg, the new one, and they're not calling it. So this is the thing I didn't know. Until you start talking to Korg, you don't find these things out. So they're not going to be calling it Microkorg 2, but it is kind of street name is Microkorg 2. What they're going to do, according to this the interview that I saw, I think it was with Andy actually, he said that they're going to keep selling the Microkorg, the original one, until it runs out in the factory, and then they'll replace it with the new one, and they won't be making the old one anymore. So that's what's happening. So I thought that was interesting. And on top of that, the other thing I didn't know is the oscillators are a lot more than I thought there were. There's like an insane amount of oscillator options on this thing, which kind of makes this thing even more attractive than what I originally thought.
I felt the same way, Rance, because I watched Loopop's video where he compared it to the original. And that's a really good watch if anybody wants to really see what it's like. And I was certainly more sold on it than when I was last week, because we didn't have an awful lot. We
didn't have a lot then, did we? It was pretty hot off the press that time. So I kind of feel like that was probably. I did say at the time I thought it was kind of genius of them to keep that product going, because obviously it's the world's biggest selling synth. So why not?
I mean, Loopop had a pre-production version as well, but it still had that crappy microphone. No, I mean, I hate that microphone. I really do.
One day those microphones will be worth a fortune. You know.
Well, mine stays in the box.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be great for resale then when they explode in box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's still. It came out of the box really wonky already.
Still in the box.
It's still, but
I agree with Wagoo. It should actually probably be called the Microkorg 3, because they had so many iterations of that Microkorg, didn't they? Yeah. And they made a few little sort of tweaks as they went through.
Yeah, and the other ones never really sold anywhere close to the original.
No,
they were never.
No.
Actually, there was one model, I can't remember which one it was. It had reliability issues, which is very rare.
Yeah, that was the one with the was it the XL?
The XL?
Yeah, it was the XL.
I think it's the XL. I sadly sold one to a friend of mine, and it went wrong, so we had to deal with that for him. But I mean, I've sold loads of the original ones, and they've never gone wrong.
I never bought one, but I got so I went into the local store and I brought one home, because the guy said, just take it home for a couple of days and see what you think of it. And I'm like, I don't really want this thing. All right, okay, no, whatever. And it literally, I thought I must have damaged it in the car or something, but it wouldn't switch on. The thing literally just died. And I took it back to the guy and I said, I can't get this thing to turn on. What's wrong with it? And he plugs it in and he goes, oh shit, this thing's completely like fried. What's wrong with it? He goes, did you use the right power? I'm like, yeah, I did. I used your power. Trust me. But it was just dodgy. I think they just made a dodgy batch. And, I remember talking to the guy about a year later and he was going, we got heaps of them come back. So, it wasn't me. I was off the hook. He let me some more stuff down. I wanted to apologize because last week I completely had a brain fart. I was talking about the King Korg Neo, and I honestly, I don't know why, but my brain was thinking that it was the Prologue. Do you know what I mean? Like the way I was talking about it, I thought it was the analog Prologue, and I don't know why, but that's just what happened in my head. And maybe I should go and see a shrink. I'm not sure, but
too late.
I just wanted to say that because when I was talking about it, I think Wagoo will probably understand now what I mean by that. But when I was talking about it, I was saying it's got analog oscillators. No, it doesn't. It's digital. What are you talking about? The King Korg was never analog. It was a VA. It was always a VA. I was kind of getting excited because I thought this Neo was actually a Prologue, and I said it had one LFO, and that was the thing that I'm like, hang on a minute. I said it's got one LFO, and like Wagoo was going, no, it's got two LFOs. It's no different to the previous one. What are you talking about? And I'm like, what? And that's the thing. If you go look at the Prologue, it's got one LFO. That's how I knew. So,
oh dear.
Now that I've kind of worked it out, don't you think the Neo should have been the Prologue? It should have been the Prologue Neo, right? With two LFOs and some of the other cool features that they brought into that. And so that, if you think about the mini log, it was only 4 voices and then had the mono log, 1 voice, right? and then they brought the Prologue out. It was, you know, it was a bigger polysynth with a bigger keyboard, but I kind of thought that Neo sort of form factor with more analog voices, but then you've got that sort of that third oscillator with the digital side that you could upload your own wave tables and all that sort of cool stuff. But then add that whole bunch of new kind of features that they brought in with the Neo. I reckon that'd be cool, like a Prologue Neo or a Pro Neo. I don't know what you want to call it. But Korg, are you listening?
Neo Prio.
Prio,
Neo,
yeah.
Neo
Toyota Prio. Korg Toyota.
Called Neo Brain.
The Prologue is a nice synth, says Man with Beard. I agree. It is a very nice synth. It's like the Minilog, right? It's bigger.
Yeah, but I
preferred the Minilog to the Prologue, if I'm honest.
Probably the form factor, though, right?
Yeah.
What I can say is that Korg haven't finished.
Yeah.
Oh.
There is more to come.
Well, good. Man, that's good news.
Just keep on.
Not this week. Not next week, but
Yeah.
you know,
I think they're done.
They haven't finished.
They're done for now. For now, they're done.
we think.
I was going to say my favorite was from the show so far was the Mantis, which I think I put on your Discord.
Yeah, you did.
Bands.
The PWM, yep.
And I wanted to make sure I put a better picture because the one that shows up in the shops is like looks real faded. It's kind of depressing, you know. You go perfect circuit, but then when you saw the NAMM photo of it, I was like, "Wow, man, it's beautiful to me." And it's got some really cool, you know, the dual filters. I liked it. He added some really nice touches. Those additive on the sine waves. He added and then what else? They added that 4-voice mode that I don't totally understand. So I think, and then, you know, obviously he can do more with that synth ultimately, I would hope, maybe. I think it's a really, you know, it fits in a really bad spot where, you know, the kids aren't going to buy it. But if you know the story of Chris Huggett, and you and you really dig into the design, it's pretty cool. It's really cool. And
I think you're spot on, mate. Definitely.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer. I pre-ordered it immediately once I saw that it was finally ready. So,
yeah,
I'm not so keen on the plastic cheeks on the end, but
oh, stop it!
I don't care about that stuff. Honestly, like, every single Chris synth that I've ever owned, I have absolutely loved. I love the bass station. I love the peak.
Yeah.
I've just like I love all the stuff that he's touched in his days. He's definitely got an art, that guy, with engineering, that's for sure. And I think like you said, Dave, I think the Mantis is, you know, his last legacy, right? So it is don't you think it's a pity that maybe it's not a pity, but I don't know, like Novation didn't really have anything really to do with it in that sense, did they? So
no.
So I don't. This is what I'm saying. When I say it's a pity that if Novation had something to do with it, there may have been a little bit more of that Novation engineering to help it. Like you guys are sort of saying, I don't like the plastic size. You know, there might have been a little bit more of the industrial design maybe to it. I'm not sure, because a few people have commented that they don't like the look of it. But you're not looking at a synth; you're playing it, right? So. Yeah.
It always reminds me of at Super Booth last year. Ben and I went into the tent where they were, and they got 2 Mantises, pre sort of production ones, and one was fully assembled, and somebody was playing on that. There was another one that was all lit up, and it had all the knobs and buttons on, and Ben's playing it, and then he's like trying to change, and nothing's happening. So I have a go on it, and I'm twiddling knobs, and it sounds exactly the same. What we didn't notice is that they'd taken the insides out and set them next to, so you could see what was going on. And that's where you would, so we were just twiddling knobs that were not attached to anything at all. Right. And so Ben, once we figured this out, Ben was playing it, and I was twiddling it, and then it worked, and it made sense. But yeah, it's a gnarly little thing. It really is.
Yeah. But hybrid. The whole hybrid analog stuff, I think, you know, Chris nailed it with that Novation Peak, didn't he? I mean, I don't know how much you guys like the Peak, but I absolutely love that synth. I think it's I don't know. There's something about, like, you can program things in the digital world, and if you do a good job, like Robbie, you talk about Yamaha's DX stuff, right? The DX1, there's some really good digital engineering. If you know what to do, you can make digital stuff sound really, really good. And I always say that I just a big fan of digital oscillators and analog filters. I'm just a massive fan of that. And there's so many examples of it. But the first synth that I ever owned that was the ESQ1. And as crappy digital as the some of the sample sounds on it are, you're putting it through those Curtis filters. It's weird. It's just because the Curtis filter bites at something sharp. It's almost like give it something really digital and sharp edged, and then you put it through a Curtis filter. It's just like, I just want to bite on that, and I just want to give you all these harmonics. It's insane. And the Peak does that. They haven't used Curtis filters, but they've got some other type of whatever's on the base station too. I forget now. They're 24 dB. They're a Moog sort of copy, but still sounds nice. But yeah, the Mantis, it's gonna have that feature, Dave, and it's gonna have the other thing that's gonna have is the dual filter that I think is kind of unique.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun to play with. And but I do hear that it might not be as, I'm not expecting it to be as robust as buying a Moog or something, just for example. But, yeah, it's fine.
But you don't always need that, no, yeah.
No, it's not going to be anything like a Moog. So that's the irony.
Right, exactly. It's good. It matches. Its sound should match its exterior. What's wrong with that?
Yeah,
Which is green, apparently.
What was the first synth that?
Yes,
that
sounds green.
What was the first synth that Chris made? It was
not the Oscar.
It was the Oscar, wasn't it?
Might have been the Oscar.
Wasp? No, too early.
Oh,
was it the Wasp? I forget.
Wasp.
Where's
Wasp
Dave
was
Spears
before.
when you need him?
Wasp.
Wasp. The
Wasp
yellow
was first.
The yellow thing with the weird
Wasp.
keyboard was the Wasp, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasp Deluxe.
And that had an insane filter on it, the Wasp. Like we're buying Eurorack modules with the Wasp filter on it. That's how insane that filter is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. But
Surprising how many synths actually use that filter. It's the LM 3700 chip. It's, you filter in quite a few different people's, to which I can remember none at the moment, off the top of my head. Believe it or not.
It wasn't the MS-20 filter, was a OTA based filters.
What, the Korg 35? Sure.
I'm trying to think.
My memory goes to shit when I get into the Mustang. Don't know why.
Remembering things like speed limits and stuff like that.
I think it's something to do with the petrol.
Fumes.
It could
The
be
exhaust
the
fumes, Ken.
Was it
Yeah.
ARP?
carbon monoxide. Yeah.
Was it ARP that had the LM filter? The ARP 2600 had it, didn't it?
Yeah, you might be right actually.
Because they had the three different iterations when they got in trouble with Moog.
Yeah, White-Faced Odyssey might use
the Odyssey had it.
Yeah, there was others, but for some reason I can't. I mean, even Moog have used it a couple of times. Why can't I think of any?
I can't even remember what Moog had it, but it was one of those. What is it? Was it like the blue and silver one? It was like that sort of era, wasn't it? The 80s era of Moog.
Yeah.
The Source. Was it the Source that had that? Or did the Source have a ladder? I forget.
Well, the Moog policy was to use the ladder in as many products as humanly possible at the time. but I can't. It might not. Yeah, it might have been the LM because it would be cheaper to do. Trying to keep the price of the source down.
It had the source had the 24 dB Moog filter, so I don't think it was the source.
No, it can't be that then.
It might have been before then, but I do remember that there was a post somewhere. I forget where it was. It might have been on Gearspace or something that they were talking about the LM filter. There was a big, massive post about it. So do your googling, you'll find it. All you have to do is just actually find out what the actual number was. It's LM 3000 and I don't know.
Yeah,
26
or 3600.
Yeah,
but they were both actually exactly the same chip. They changed the number on it for, I think it had something to do with bias input or something.
It distorted, didn't it? It didn't have a low input threshold, and it distorted natively or something. That was the kind of cool thing about it.
Yeah, I think that's what picked it actually, because it gave that sort of like rougher edge to the sound. As that particular kind of thing became more popular. But why I can't think of any other keyboards that had it fitted enough for the buggers.
Yeah, I can't think so. We're saying it was the 4012 and the 4072 in the BARPs. So it wasn't LM. Because the 4012 and the 4072 aren't LMs. OBXA Wigoo saying, did that have it? I don't know. Find out. Google it, guys. I can't Google because I'm trying to run a show. Right. Let's have a look at Chris's new little product that he's coming up with.
What?
Now, I know some of you are not going to be interested in this, but bad luck if you're not.
Well,
if you don't like
unfortunately, it's modular related.
It is modular related, but I think Kent will like this, and I think a lot of people will. So, Chris, I'm going to over to you. Shall I just play the video without sound? Would that be better?
Don't play it with sound.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Now you can talk about this while the video is playing. Go. Over to you, mate.
Okay. So if you make modules for a living, or you have to supply, you have to make a whole heap of those bloody power cables for modular. And anyone who's fiddled around with those little crimps either damages their hands or gets it on a wonky angle, and it just becomes a major pain in the ass. So I've designed this thing to try and make it A, easier, and B, reliable. So that's what you see me do here, basically. So the cable's held in place and perfectly perpendicular to the connectors, and the connectors are inside the held in place as well. And you just use the orange levers to do the crimping actions. And in this case, I'm pulling it out so that I can make it a different length to the standard length. That length is currently in there because that's the maximum size that the 3D printer I use can do it. But as I said, I showed you how you can do it any length you want, and there's graduations on it to help you get the length. And then you just need to do a bit of trimming at the end. I worked out how to do the trimming bit automatically. That'd be quite advanced. This is how I do it anyway.
Pretty easy though, isn't it? What do you think?
It's pretty easy, and if you've got a whole heap of them to do, and it's just one of those things where you think it would be simple and easy to do, but every time I do it, I stuff some of them up, and I'm thinking, I'm a technical guy. This shouldn't be this difficult.
Yeah. And
I just thought, I think there's a better solution for this. Now, my question to people in the audience is going to be, A, has anyone seen anything like this? Because I don't think it's it seems to me to be a particularly obvious kind of sort of solution, but it may not be so prevalent.
This is the alternative, this thing.
Yeah, which I have as well. And
so you can see that these things...
I absolutely hate it.
These things absolutely
and it weighs a ton too.
So you put like a bit of plastic in there.
Yeah.
And
which is very poorly sized to the size of the connectors, so that the connectors fall out. And
you're holding that in your hand. You guys get it, right?
It's just not made to any sort of decent tolerance, because I don't know why. It's just an old Anyway, I got sick of doing it, and I thought I didn't relish the prospect of making hundreds of those cables, and I thought, come on, I can design something better than this. So that was my sort of idea.
Get it painted.
Sorry, get it painted or patented.
Get it patented. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know how much painting costs?
No. I tell you what, it's great though.
Yeah, and it's not the kind of thing necessarily.
Solution.
It's part of the reason I'm asking two questions, which is, would anyone be interested in something like this, and has anyone seen anything like it before?
No, and I would be interested in it.
So yes and no.
Haven't seen anything like it, and yes, I would be interested in it. Is the answer?
Yeah, because even people who don't, make modules or sell them, or DIY people, because there'll be a lot of them anyway. So I'm thinking would initially be the people I would say, hey, you guys want this? And they'd be like, yes, hopefully.
And
but even people who have large studios and
you
need
do come
longer
across
or shorter.
When you get into modular, you will come across a time where you will need a longer cable or a shorter cable. And you don't have one, so what are your options? You have to go buy one, and sometimes you have to order it, and then you have to wait for it to come in, and it might take weeks. And these ribbon cables and the little IDC connectors, they are at just about every single local electronic store. So they're very, very common parts to get. By the way, Kent hasn't frozen. His calls dropped off, so don't worry about him. He was engrossed in looking at your invention.
His mind was blown. You think maybe it exploded his internet connection.
So I have a quick question, Chris.
Yeah.
From another just practical thing. Let's say I have a few cables that come with the modules, and I've got something like a nifty case, and it's all the cables are just too large, right? But I don't necessarily have any extra materials. Is it possible? This is where I could see this being really functional. Is it pretty easy to take off those two connections from an existing cable, or is that? Am I working a little bit too backwards in that? Would I be better just to make my own?
I think for the most people, it would be too difficult to pull those cables off. I do it because I'm really sometimes I'm penny pincher, and I'm determined to work out how to get past someone else's engineering shortfalls. But I like this. So it is possible to remove them, and having done a few and ruined a few, I now have a technique down that I can generally get it pretty right. But yeah, they're just not made to be. Yeah, they're really a one-way direction.
The pins get damaged too.
Yeah, the pins get damaged.
You'd be better to just make your own. Get this
the way the plastic fits together, it's very sort of one time. It's sort of you try to get it out. It's like a lot of one-way sort of barbs and ratchets, and it's been designed not to be removed. It's very.
I like it. It looked really easy to use, and I'll say that even I don't have a real massive system, but in those smaller cases, like the Nifty, for example, where you're trying to. Or I've had other cases where you're trying to get these. Sometimes those lengths are just too long, and it really creates a mess. And you really do want to just make some custom ones real quick, and just put them, right module into that, because it's a real. So I like this. I do. I like it. So I'll shut up.
Cool. I noticed on Fonk's website, because I was looking at the cost of cables and what length they're making them. And selling them in, and I was surprised to find that I think it's the 100 millimeter or 120 millimeters, which is shorter than I expected, is really selling out. So I wonder if this is the reason why people are now looking for shorter eurorack cables, which is kind of the opposite complaint to what Ranzee usually has, which is he wants a longer eurorack cable than what they're supplying. But if they're getting shorter ants, that might be the reason why, because people are asking them to be shorter.
When you've got those cases that have got the floating power strip, not the ones that are like rigid, the flying
bus.
Yeah, flying bus. The shorter cables are a godsend, because otherwise you end up with what I would call ribbon mess underneath all your modules, and you will end up. Sometimes you won't even be able to get a module to screw in because the cables get in the way. So
Everything
shorter cables fix that problem. Being able to make them in 5 seconds like that is I mean, it's so easy to do with his little device. I feel
Gadget.
like most people would be able to do that. I don't think it's too engineering. Do you know how like some things like, oh, I can't touch that, it's too much to do with electronics, I don't DIY. You know, I think something like that you would definitely, you know, most Eurorack people kind of do a little bit of DIY anyway, so yeah. How much do you think you would charge for something like that? Like, you know?
That's a good question. I'm going to ask my friend very soon, who actually printed it. It's one of those things where I'm not sure if I want to go down the. I think I would basically ask people how much they'd be prepared to pay. But the other thing to remember, of course, is that shipping. You know, it's some people in some places may. I would probably reduce the shipping and take a hit on that, and you know, maybe increase the price a bit.
Yeah.
Get shipping
Do
down
not reduce your shipping. Let people pay your shipping. Yep.
It's
if they want it, they will ship it. Shipping is their problem.
Well, and the other thing about shipping, of course, is that if I had more products, that also makes the proposition of shipping much more attractive to people, which is one of those things I've always got in my mind. But I've got to learn to, you know, walk before I can run.
Well, another way to get around that is to stock them in an overseas store like Fonk.
Yeah.
And then they can ship from there. So, I mean, distribution is the way to look around that. But for now, I think if someone wants something and it's kind of unique, they won't care what the shipping costs. I mean,
I'm in two minds.
I speak from my own experience, right? I live in Australia. I live in one of the most remote cities in the world, and it costs an arm and a leg to ship anything anywhere to me, especially synthesizers. Yeah. So we're used to it. So you know, get over it. Anyone who can't get over shipping, come and talk to me. I'll teach you how to get over it real quick.
90% of America, perhaps. I'm not sure because I don't have a lot of sales from.
I kind of feel like the Americans. Nothing against them, but I feel like they've been spoilt a bit with the shipping, like internally shipping. Like so, with Amazon, they can order something and get it the same day, and that is insanely cool. And I think in some cases, the UK have got that now.
Yeah, we've got the same. Yeah. We've got the same.
The best I can get here is a couple of days. You know, literally a couple of days. And you got to remember that Australia is the same size from east to west, pretty much as US is from east to west. It's pretty much the same distance, left to right.
I was going to say that's what you get for living on a continent, country the size of a continent.
Yeah. So the fact that the US are able to ship stuff like maybe from New York to Los Angeles, which is a massive distance, at pretty insane speeds, is probably because there's a shitload of aircraft flying around that country.
Yeah,
you know, they've got
population.
They've got such population that infilled into the mid.
Also, America has stuff in the middle.
Well. Yeah,
you guys.
We literally have nothing in the middle. There is stuff there, but it's very very minute. Yeah, in terms of population.
Not a lot of addresses in between.
It could still get pretty expensive to ship from the States to Europe, you know, even, you know.
So vice versa.
Vice versa.
So, we're all getting into these little micro kind of where it's really cheaper, you know, to do that. So, I don't know. I don't care about the time. It's the cost usually, you know, so I usually just say take your time if there's a cheaper option.
If there's a cheaper option.
Certainly going from UK to USA there is, because we would normally ship, say something like a synthesizer, we could ship it for about £20, but it would take 14 days. It doesn't go by air, it goes by sea. You know.
But even still, 14 days by sea is so quick. Like for us, it's like...
It is quick, yeah.
It's 3 months. It's like, you know, it's not 3 months, it's about a month. But it's ridiculous how long it takes for us to get stuff. And like if I was to buy something from Thomann, and a lot of stuff I want to buy is only sold at Thomann, and I'm like, I'm just not going to get it because they have a flat shipping rate on anything smaller than a certain size. It's $50 US. It's ridiculous. So they could be shipping like a bloody ribbon cable, like we were talking about, from Eurorack. It would only cost them $1 to send the part, but a $50 US shipping cost. It's ridiculous. So there's some things that we get punished for no reason at all. and it's just profiteering, in my opinion.
There's
Shipping
also
profiteering.
Also, not to forget the environmental impact of shipping a bunch of cables across the planet because that's the only way you can get them. Or, I mean, I bought a bunch of Nurleys from a place in the eastern states, in our country at least. It's probably a good move. Otherwise, it would have come from Fonk when they came in stock. And I just thought of the insanity of, using up all that carbon just for.
But they got to the eastern states, Chris, via that anyway. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's traveling with a big bulk.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things where you're just thinking, you can ship a large reel of ribbon cable and a bunch of connectors in a bag for quite maybe should do that as well. Here's your kit with your cable maker and enough to make 30 cables or something.
Yeah.
Before you guys had Brexit, I used to get some stuff from Gear for Music in the UK. I told Ian about this before, and
I'm joking.
This was before we had you guys, before you had Brexit, and before we had our new import duty laws. So I was able to ship stuff. It took a day because we used to have this flight that went direct from London to my city, Perth. They don't have it anymore. I don't know why. It happened since COVID. So someone got butt hurt because, I don't know, a politician didn't like them and they cancelled it. So I can no longer get something in a day from the UK anymore. And I don't really care about the day, but it was so cool. Like I ordered I remember I ordered the Behringer VC340. It's that Roland vocoder thing. And it's a massively huge, heavy thing. I don't know if you guys have ever touched one of these things. It's like, they're actually pretty solidly built, these things. And it only cost me about £15 to ship it. And I was like, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
I didn't pay any duty. I didn't pay any GST because it's GST or VAT in your world free. And so it was insanely cheap. And it was cheaper by at least $150, $200 Australian than to get it locally here. And not only that, it was quicker to get it shipped from London or wherever the Gear for Music is. I think they're up your way, aren't they?
It's in York.
Yeah, York. Okay.
Just 16 miles away.
It's quicker to get it from there to here than it was to get it shipped from a Melbourne or a Sydney supplier to here. Quicker. It's ridiculous, isn't it? These little things are just insane. That we have to do with.
Yeah,
Brexit.
great
Brexit
ideas.
did hit us. Yeah, Brexit hit us quite. I mean, we used to do. Synths Music used to do probably about 3 or 4 exports a month on average to mainly Australia and USA. Mainly more USA than Australia, but we did do to Australia. That just pretty much stopped when Brexit hit. Now, we're a small business, so it didn't affect, because it was extra business that we wouldn't have had otherwise. But if you think of bigger businesses, the Brexit had that massive effect. If all you're doing is exporting, then
all you guys ended up doing was you kind of came into line with what we had experienced with import duties and taxes on minimum purchases and things like that when you're buying things. The US don't get it because a lot of people ship to the US and then they ship out from the US, so they don't usually see this thing happening. But you guys are probably, like, I know you guys in the US kind of suffer a bit with the Behringer products because a lot of the Behringer products don't go to the US first. They go to Thomann or some of the UK. Like I think Andertons have got like a deal with them and stuff, and you can't get them.
They have now, yeah.
So that feeling that you're getting with Behringer is what we get with just about everything. That like Korg is the worst. Like it's insane. Like I can't get any Korg stuff.
No,
but you can't buy Japanese manufacturers from Thomann. I can't get them. They won't ship them to the U.S. They force us to buy. I have to buy from Sweetwater, and they're more expensive. So it gets kind of weird. But I was thinking, the same thing happens with music. I think you might have mentioned it, Ian. If you try to sell a cassette, it's almost $20 to get it overseas, which just shipping. So you just eat it. But to Chris's point, and to what you were saying to Chris is like you shouldn't be eating it, but we do.
No, you shouldn't be because
Yeah,
the shipping is one thing, and the cost of the item is the reward that the person selling it gets. So the shipping company wins otherwise, right?
Yeah, it's also difficult as a shop, doing a shop as well as having different messing around with your shipping prices kind of makes it really confusing for customers. So it's probably just one of those things, just not really worth it.
I had when I was selling my stuff last year on Reverb, I had one guy literally bargaining with me. You know how you can bargain, make offers and reject them and stuff.
Yeah, counter offers.
Yeah. And one guy was like, "Oh, your shipping's a bit high. Can you reduce your shipping a bit?" I'm like, I'm going into, because I use online calculators and they're all 100% accurate. If you put the the right details in, the weight, the width, and all that sort of stuff, it gets it 100% accurate. And I don't put any, what we call mayo. I don't put any mayonnaise on top. I literally just charge
handling fees, right? Handling fees.
I'm pulling out bubble wrap and sellotape and all that, and I'm just passing boxes. That through. I don't boxes. So I don't charge any extra. I literally charge what it costs to ship. And this guy's gone, "Oh, it's too expensive. You guys are ripping us off," and like he's acting like a real dick. And I just replied to him and I said, "Mate, here's a screenshot of the portal of your shipping calculation for your particular thing." And he just disappeared. He just shut up after that. But like, it's really like people think that we're ripping people off with the shipping, and it's not us that are ripping you off. It's probably the shipping company that's ripping you off.
It is.
And your beef is with them.
I mean, the bigger issue is as well. If you insure something with shipping, so the cost of the shipping might be £20, but then there's only £20 worth of insurance on that, and if it does go AWOL, and we've had this recently. I sold some stuff before Christmas to a guy down south, very patient guy, and he's emailed me a few times. I've been on to the delivery company. They have finally agreed to actually. They've lost it. It's gone. So I can now give the guy a refund, which I will do in the morning, actually. That happens. We don't get a lot of lost things, but it does happen, and you do need to insure stuff, especially if it's high ticket items.
All you got to do is just go and have a look at those publicly listed shipping companies and have a look how much money their profit lines have increased over the last 2 or 3 years, and you'll get a real sort of picture about whether, are they really passing on the savings to the end user? Or are they,
I think Rant, every time they see their profit margins go up, they turn to the other side. Well, we need to increase our prices too.
Yeah,
because the two numbers need to go up at the same time, don't they?
Yeah. I don't know. You guys, do you guys have interest rate for your bank loans, like mortgages and stuff? Do they go up over your parts of the world? Because they went up massively here.
I don't have a mortgage, so.
And one of the things that I don't know if you guys, your banks in your country, you have to publicly report their profits, but they do here. And like it's probably not a big figure for you guys, but one of our banks recently reported that they made $10 billion profit. And that like. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit of a skeptic when it comes to this sort of stuff, right? Inflation isn't caused by people's mortgages being low, and then by putting them up, it's going to control inflation. I mean, it will control how much money I've got in my bank account, and yes, I won't spend as much. But I am just a middle income earner, right? So, there are people that. I think if there's statistics in the world, it's like there's only a certain percentage that have to pay a mortgage, and there's another percentage that rent, and then there's another percentage that own. And so the people that are really benefiting are the owners, because they'll probably have savings and they want to have their savings returned and stuff like that. So when it comes to things like when you're paying shipping and they're sort of justifying the cost because everything else goes up, fuel goes up, this goes up. Sometimes I think they're just like taking liberties. I really do. Like no one really scrutinizes it, do they?
Yeah.
And we just cop it, don't we? Just okay, I'll just pay it.
I just want to answer Man with Beard's question. He said, "Which company do I use?" I usually use Yodel. They're the least problematical compared to everybody else in the UK. Every are terrible. DPD used to be my go-to for high ticket items, but I've had more trouble with them per item, if I'm honest. I don't use them a lot, but we sent, I think, 6 items in 2 months, and 3 of them we had problems with them. So whereas I used to think DPD were better than the rest, I don't think they are. I think parcel posts are probably one of the worst.
Yeah.
And actually now the post office, if you want to send with the UK post office, because they don't want to handle parcels, they're actually farming it out to Every and DPD. And I do occasionally use Every, but they are absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And it's a lottery as to whether your parcel's going to get there.
I
have more problems with them.
I use this company in Australia called Sendle. I think they're in the US as well. Sendle. I think they're actually a US company, and basically they're a freight forwarding clearinghouse sort of company. So what they'll do is they'll get their freight orders in, and they'll just pick the lowest bidder. And so it might be DHL, it might be FedEx, it might be whoever that's sending it for them. But at the end of the day, it's you're dealing direct with them, and usually you get a pretty good price. Like I found that I can get it cheaper through them than dealing direct with like say if I wanted to send something with my carrier, which is Australia Post. I send it through Sendle. It's usually a few bucks cheaper, and it's crazy because they are actually using Australia Post, so they're passing on those savings to me.
We've got a company called Interparcel here. So, sorry, Chris, go on.
Sorry, they just use those guys get good prices because they're using volume.
It's volume.
Of aggregating, I think they call it.
Yeah. It's an aggregator. We occasionally use a company called Interparcel here in the UK. I think they're in the USA as well. They collate all of the prices from everybody. It's that thing. I've got a direct account with Yodel, but I can actually sometimes find it cheaper on Interparcel. The main reason for using Interparcel in the UK is, well, if you use Every or Yodel, you can't actually talk to anybody, whereas Interparcel have got girls in their call center, so you get to talk to a person and they will sort the problem out rather than using a chatbot. And that saves more. I spent 3 hours talking to a chatbot one day trying to sort a problem out for a customer. Whereas I can pick up the phone to Interparcel and they're not always the cheapest, though. That's the thing, And when you're sending out 30 parcels a week, it all adds up.
When you sell one of your synths, right, that you've shipped from wherever you guys live, and you've shipped it from some other country to get to you, you can't pass on the costs that you paid for the shipping. So that was kind of my point to Chris when he's selling his little cable maker thing. The shipping cost is never married to the product. It's a buyer issue that they have to solve, and you have to always be strong with that. You can't let that
and it's going to
dictate you.
I think that's going to get worse as well, because there is certainly things through companies like eBay, there is a move to have free shipping, and Amazon do it, don't they? Amazon, if you sell on Amazon, it's free shipping if you're a Prime customer, and everybody else is trying to compete with Amazon's own stuff. So there is this dive to the bottom to some extent.
I think all of the online selling formats are trying to move towards a model which is just bottom line more attractive to the consumer, more attractive to the buyers. That's who they're there for. They're there for the buyers. So
definitely.
They're kind of trying to manipulate the sellers into a model that works for them or works for the buyers as such.
So you could sell through Amazon too, Chris.
I could.
You could.
They have very strict policies on how you're meant to distribute shipping. Please offer free shipping on this advice.
Put your gear in their warehouse. You won't have to worry about shipping.
Do not put your gear in their warehouse. Seriously, do not. If you're going to use Amazon, we've been dealing with Amazon since 2016. If you're going to deal with them, Chris, we'll have that conversation because you should never put it in their warehouse.
Not ever make such a move without talking to you first, Ian.
No, I'm
I very much would like to hear
share whatever I know.
Excellent.
Could you manifest this in a way where you could have like an insert where you could also do 16-way cable?
Possibly, yes. You could.
Because if you do, you have your children. Because what you got to remember is,
I could do.
Right, don't think of it as an item that helps Eurorack module guys. Think
All
of
people
it
making cables.
as a tool. It's a tool. RS
Yeah.
would take these on.
Yeah,
Racket
they would actually. Yeah.
buy
Yeah.
bundle
Oh, yeah.
of you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have to be
Um,
manufactured and injection molded and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The thing being, this is
So
actually,
you
I mean,
come
this
up
is
with-
3D
you come up
printed.
with a solution.
So
Yeah, you've come up with a
Yeah.
solution to a problem that has dogged me for years.
Yeah.
so it's not just me. It wasn't just me who was frustrated the hell with this. I'm glad.
13 years ago, if you'd come up with this 13 years ago, there's
I can only apologise, but 3D printing wasn't invented.
No, I'm
until
thinking 25 years ago.
ribbon cables in the touch digital controller that were all had to be different lengths. So what we did was we had to buy, had to buy all the connectors, and then rolls of the ribbon cable, and make every single cable by hand. And it with this clamp thing, it was like, oh, for crap.
Yeah.
And these old girls as well. The memory mode.
Show us all the ribbon cables.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they fail
Excellent.
repeatedly. And this tool would be, it'd be a bloody godsend. Absolute godsend. Go for it. Like I say, if you can get it,
because I can imagine lots of variations to it, such as different inserts for different size connectors, different widths. The other thing is that because it's 3D printed, it's not out of the question just to print lots of different bases for different specialized cables, and you could actually order the ones you make the most of.
16-way one to a 12-way one, yeah.
Because it's cheap enough. Because if it's 3D printed, if I keep it 3D printed, then I can produce these to order. And then people can order exactly what they want for a job. I can print it, turn around pretty quickly, and they can get it in their hands, and they've got... It's just a matter of... Because I thought about the idea of, trying to make more and more universal a tool, such as I discussed with my friend about, printing it in two halves and having sort of some kind of adjustable length that you could adjust it to. But when we talked about it, it's like, by the time we'd finished having the conversations about design, it had finished printing. So
yeah, how much does the other crimping tool that Ranz was showing? How much does that cost to buy? Because that's
quite expensive, isn't it, Rance? Because it's made of steel. It's $40 maybe.
Yeah, probably 40 bucks.
Might even be $49.
I can't remember.
But of course, if you buy it on AliExpress, it'll probably be 24 or something Australian dollars. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit missing on that though. Like I said before, there's a yellow thing missing there.
They just don't work.
But when it goes to doing these flatter cables, the ones that don't sit up high, they do these little flat ones. So you have to put the yellow bit in, then you put in a 16-way DIL socket, and then another 16-way DIL socket, and then put the plug into it, then put the cable through, and then you can squeeze it. Whereas the thing you've got, just put it in and in one hit.
Well, we were doing like SCSI cables back in the day, for server systems and that, and that we're talking a lot wider ribbon cables, and they were a nightmare because you only had to get one wrong, and you couldn't see it, and you plug it in and everything, turn everything on and it wouldn't work, and you're like, what? What's going on?
That's the other thing that made me nervous about crimping those cables in the traditional way is just sort of like, I just think it just doesn't seem like science. It doesn't seem like, it does, the method of crimping them doesn't seem to match the design of the connectors. Whereas this makes a hell of a lot more sense to me because everything is perfectly aligned.
Well, that tool
so you should be able to.
I got the same thing, but you have to put in. They're only. Where is the camera? Where's the camera? There. They're only that thick.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to put loads of DIL sockets in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that thing.
Solder direct solder to board PCB. Yeah. There's a lot of them as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas that thing will work. An absolute godsend.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly.
Solves the same problem.
it's a great idea, Chris. I mean, and you should, if you can,
Thank you.
make it cheaper. You don't have to undersell it, but you need to make it cheaper than your competition. And the fact that theirs is metal and yours is plastic is irrelevant. It does the job. Really.
Guys in the chat are wondering what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about, guys.
Yeah. So much
Should I
Watch the show.
plaster this? I will attach this to my head so that you can see.
Watch
me
the
moving.
show, people. You would know if you watch the show. Yeah. I know it's 3 hours. I understand. It's a long time for you. Attention spans. Should we do some price watching? Who likes a bit of price watching? I've got a couple of nice ones to check out. Don't forget, people, Andy's joined. Good. Let's put Andy up. Give me a sec. Let me just sort him out. Andy's audio's connected. We can hear him. He should be able to hear us. And I'm just going to fix that up. And then I'm going to put him up in the little spot that Dave was in before. Come on. There. Now, Andy, I'm going to have to move you across a bit. Don't move. I'll move you. So I'll move you like that. And then I'll get rid of that. And then I'll put that like that. There we go. Hey, Andy, can you hear us? It says you're muted, but you're not muted my end. So you might need to unmute yourself on the interface there, bud. Are you using the web? The web interface? If you're using the web interface, there's a little icon that you can unmute yourself. I don't know where it is because I don't usually use the web when I use the app myself. But your audio is definitely connected at this end.
Is this the? I think this is the web interface where you have to move your mouse around before it becomes visible.
It might be.
It looks for motion, and then it goes, "Oh, you might be looking for this charm or that charm."
Keep looking for it, Andy. I've got to keep going with the show, and don't disappear though. I'm sure you'll get it sorted. Right. What button is it? Third. Let's go. It is time for some auctions. Sean Connery style. Hey, wow, look at all these pictures. That's gone weird.
I thought that was Chris.
That's gone very, very weird. Okay, we've got the Electro Harmonix mini synthesizer. Who's had one of these things?
Nope.
No, I've seen them though.
Who's?
Oh my god!
I'll put you in there.
£1,000 for a poor stylophone. Good God!
That was not him.
But it's got the little coloured tips on the sliders. That's obviously worth more.
Well, I left them put on Odyssey. Thank you.
Andy, just tell us if your audio is working, mate.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. All right, and I'm going to put you in the corner.
Brilliant. Thanks.
G'day, mate.
Hi, Andy.
There we go.
Hi,
I don't know where to put Robbie. Sorry, Robbie. I don't know where to put you. You're there
Put
somewhere.
me in the corner.
Actually, I don't know if I can put Andy there because it's covering up stuff. Anyway, you guys are there. Don't worry. We'll find you. Okay, so this is an auction at the moment on eBay. And there it is. You can get that for $999. $999. Whereabouts is it? It is in Whittier, California.
May not ship to Australia though.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shattered. I'm absolutely shattered.
But look at this interface. This was kind of eclectic, wasn't it? Hey, plug your guitar into this. I don't think that thing's been that well looked after. But yeah, I don't know if it's worth $999. What do you guys think?
£9.99.
£9.99.
No, definitely not worth it. All right.
No.
But it does have some interesting things that it does, So filters and oscillators and stuff like that. Yeah. Anyway,
Is it the Zoom image that I've got? But it looks like that keyboard's painted on. It might be the Zoom.
It's literally like a little touch, like one of those sort of touch keyboard, contact type keyboards. Yeah. The next one is this, which is a Casio CZ1, but looks like it's been living in the kid's bedroom.
I love the way it's black. Well, which bit? Oh, in between black, I suppose. Yeah.
Let's have some close-up looks at this because it's like insane.
Wow. This is awesome.
Oh,
Panini have vomited all over it.
One piece broken.
Hey kids, where should we put our stickers? Let's chuck them all over Dad's synth.
Oh no!
Clown.
He's done too many raves.
Do you reckon he just came into a studio one day and said, "Oh fuck it, I'm putting this on eBay. I can't bother doing it."
I know what I want a keyboard. I want a keyboard that looks like a clown.
Oh, it's got a broken key that the little angel tried to fix and it didn't fix it.
Oh,
that's not the reason I'm selling it.
And you almost can't even tell there's an LCD screen there. So what was that worth? That was worth 1,000 Aussie dollars. It's on Reverb. Good condition. Yeah, guys, come on.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Condition items functions properly, but may exhibit some wear and tear. Mate, it's damaged.
Yeah.
It's damaged. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think he's going to get in trouble from Reverb.
I would say that's poor. That's poor condition. Sorry.
Yeah, it is poor.
And a CZ1 is a great synth though, but it should not have stickers all over it like that. What do you reckon, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't even take this thing.
Why?
Someone should be punished. Someone should be punished. The next one is the Akai AX60. I've always wanted one of these. A lot of people say to me, "Oh, it's a bit of rubbish. Don't get it. You're wasting your time." I don't know.
Keyboard read. There must be some issue with it. Then it says read.
Oh, we'll worry. Don't worry. But let's have a look at some photos first. Who's had a play with one of these AX60s?
No.
Don't know.
I have. They're a bit sterile. They're analog, but they're a bit sterile. They can sound, you can detune the oscillators and stuff, but I just find them a bit sterile. It's kind of like Akai don't really have a great history of making analog synths. Hey Timberwolf.
Looking at you.
This one is damn sight better than Timberwolf, let me tell you. This one's definitely better.
My left testicle's damn sight better than the Timberwolf.
Oh, Robbie.
There's a quote, if ever I've heard one. Rob.
They do not have the Curtis 3372 VCOs in them, though.
I can't remember what the VCOs are in this.
Well, they're not those. I just had to buy a VX600 for £1,400 to get 3 bloody VCOs out of it.
Oh, no.
This doesn't have.
It's got 6 VCOs and I don't know. Someone tell us in chat. I don't know what they are. 3340s according to Magic Box Studios. Is he right? Fact check him, please. Fact check him. Let's read what it said that was wrong with it. Where does it say it was wrong with it? Tested and working. The item has missing knobs as seen in the pictures, but does not affect functionality. Yes, it does. You can't turn the bloody knobs. Please contact me for further information. Okay.
But it has Akai written on the front panel, so that's clearly a fault as well.
Yeah. It says professional, Ken. So,
but
it's Akai professional.
But guys, $849 is actually not a bad price for a 6-voice vintage-ish analog synth. And
probably 6.
Prometheus's comment was just shown. Then that one's for Robbie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should be so lucky.
Yeah, well,
Oh, creamware Prodigy. Now that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why does it? I don't know why it has warranty written in brackets, but do you guys remember these? I don't remember them.
Yeah.
That's why I showed it.
I don't think I've ever seen one of these.
Yeah. Prodigy. They did a mini Moog one as well.
Oh, cool.
They didn't they do? I think about 3 of these.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the popular one. What was the really popular one that Creamware did? Was it the Pro One?
Yeah, I think so. Because you could buy a rack, and you put all of these in, like a tabletop angled rack. And it was they're great.
Yeah, I just
Sounded amazing.
I don't remember this at all, and it's not TurnLab, it's Creamware, right? But let's have a look at some photos. So this is basically an Odyssey remake. Is it digital or is it analog?
Yeah, it's digital.
Okay. So what does it have, like a VST underneath it, or is it's like just a VA or something underneath it?
It was basically a early-ish VA. The Minimax and the Pro 12.
Oh,
and then there was this one. They did those 3, I think.
They also did the dumb controllers, didn't they?
Sorry?
They also did the dumb controllers as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. The ASB stands for Authentic Soundbox.
And they had
the box does sound authentic when you hit it with a hammer.
Yeah.
Apparently they had software that came with these as well. So you had editing software that came with it.
That's good.
So it's about £1,600, isn't it?
Yeah, about £1,600. Yeah, for that sucker. I don't think that's worth that personally, but they are
interesting though.
They aren't exactly like everywhere. So there's a bit of there's probably some rarity about it.
Oh, there is. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And the last one, I wonder who likes this.
Ooh.
Who likes this? An Elka Rhapsody.
Not at that price.
Bloody hell! What's that work out in English money?
About £700.
Half of it.
About £700.
About 700 quid. Yeah, there's probably some more on somewhere that buy it for that.
Is this the square wavy sounding one? Isn't it? This is the square wavy sounding one, the organy sounding square wavy thing.
Yeah, like the Galanti Insta strings, but with a silver case.
Really basic.
Yeah,
very.
You know what it needs, don't you? That stickers.
It does. It does need stickers.
Take the CS1 out on the date. The CZ one out on the date. You end up with stickers on both. I just can't remember.
Pretty clean though.
I can't remember who used to play this. Someone used to play the Rhapsody. Someone famous, and I'm just trying to think who it was. Was it Jimi Hendrix?
Don't know. Don't think so. It's got a case.
I thought he could have put Selena.
Well, there you go. The case looked a bit dodged, didn't it?
It looked like it was bashed, didn't it?
I'll show it again because I went a bit quick.
That's probably the way it should be.
Yeah, it could be. It looks like.
Yeah, that's been thrown down a few airport turnstiles, I think, over the years.
I think so. I think you're right.
But if you like that sort of, organy, square wavy sort of, I'm not going to say Hammond because it's not really Hammond sound. It's more.
No, it's not Hammond. No,
it's more churchy, but not quite as not quite pipey. It's more square wavy sounding. Just think of a very perfect square wave, and what does that sound like? This, and then you've got some basic controls over it. I don't know. I just remember someone famous, like a guitarist, like Hendrix or someone using one. I don't know if I'm right, but someone in chat will probably say
Queen.
Prometheus says it's Queen. Maybe it was Freddie, or maybe it might have been Brian. Who played the No, it would have been Freddie, because Freddie was a bit of a penis, wasn't he? So it would have been.
So
sorry,
penis.
it wasn't meant to be a joke.
Yeah.
Well, it was, but yeah.
Wasn't it Roger who really got into the sequencing and stuff like that?
Yeah. But he wrote songs on the piano.
Absolutely.
It might have been Freddie. I thought it was.
No,
Hendrix,
he was joking.
though.
Prometheus was joking.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah,
He got me.
Sticking the penis.
Yeah. All right. There's Price Watch. So we had an Elka. We had a creamware. Robbie, you were talking about testicles before. That's a very appropriate name. Akai, Casio, an EHX mini synth. Which one would you buy?
More stickers.
None of them.
Creamware.
Creamware, yeah.
Creamware's the one that's interesting. Yeah.
Which one? It's like trying to decide who should kick me in the nuts or not.
I will.
Get in
better
line.
choice?
The Akai was probably the best value. I would say out of that lot.
Yeah.
Because it was $850, and I think that's probably not a bad price for as long as it's working, as long as there's no issues with it. Yeah. And there's not like a gazillion of the AX60s floating around. They did sell a few, but not like DX7s or anything. So, what year was the AX60? It was 80s, wasn't it? It
83.
was 80s, 86.
Oh.
And it had MIDI. And Bjork used it, according to this website.
Hold the door open.
Yeah.
It qualifies.
There was definitely something with the AX that I remember someone talking to me about one once, and I nearly bought one because of it. There was definitely something kind of unique about it that other synths didn't have, and I'm just trying to think what it was. It was kind of a quirky thing. You know how like we talk about how the Ensonics had the ESQ1 had the weird envelopes, and the Poly 800 had the weird oscillator design with the weird square wave harmonics to make sawtooths, and there's all these kind of funkinesses about some synths, and I can't remember what the AX60 had. It was kind of interesting, but I'm just if I remember, I'll let you guys know next show.
Check what Wagyu said about a second oscillator.
And that might have been it, but you might have been able to bring a sample sound through as a second oscillator or something. It might have been it. That might have been it. Which would have been
also
insane.
Do that with the VX.
Well,
They did that with the
86
VXs as well.
Right? 86. We're talking here. It's almost 40 years old. 38 years old. Yeah. I don't know how that would work, but yeah. Filters. Someone asked about filters. Standard 24 dB, I think. So it would be a Moog type filter. I don't think it would be a ladder, but it would be a Moog type 24 dB. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably buy that if I had to spare $1,000. It'd be better than my Timberwolf, I tell you that. My Timberwolf's sitting right there.
There.
Yeah, you can't give it away, can you?
Get in the
It needs another circuit board in it. What it needs, the Timberwolf needs another circuit board in it, and it needs the oscillators to be routed through a different envelope controller that actually friggin' works properly. And I don't know, somehow hack the filter a bit.
I've already designed it. I've already designed the board to do it. Just have to implement it.
Well, Kent, talk to talk to this guy next to you.
Firmware developers, please.
He's looking
wanted
at you.
firmware developers for Timberwolf.
Yeah.
What's
I'll send you the get on with it.
Yeah. It depends on what sort of pick you want to put it on. Like what sort of digital processors you want to put it on. So, because he's pretty good. He's pretty good at that stuff.
Firmware, yeah.
Like that little GP82 module that he built is a digital processor that reads all the gate signals coming in off a Behringer 182 sequencer, and then does a whole bunch of maths and recalculates so you can do your gate ratcheting and delaying and all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty clever.
And it reads the two CV signals as well. Can't output two CV signals on that particular CPU, but it can read them.
But the envelopes, if you did them, I don't know, if you just did digital envelopes on it, I wouldn't care. As long as anything's better than those envelopes.
Yeah, we could chuck a couple of decks on.
Mate, go down to we have this place here called Officeworks where you buy stationery. I reckon you get better envelopes at Officeworks.
And on that bombshell.
I tell you what, I will donate my Timberwolf to be modded.
You were going to say that.
There you go.
Any moment now,
I will donate it to be modded.
Send the Timberwolf to me, and Kent sends me a board, and here I am going doing the magic.
Yeah.
In
the meantime, what we should do is just buy up all the cheap Timberwolves, right?
Can you imagine?
Make the mod, and then everyone will want a Timberwolf.
What do you mean all the cheap ones? They are
cheap,
cheap. All of them.
Well, they weren't. They weren't cheap when they sold them retail. They were a rip-off.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the price might have been cheap. That was still a rip-off.
If they were free.
I'm sorry, Akai. And you know what? Dan, the guy that did the demo, he copped so much shit over that. I mean, okay, he probably wasn't the best guy in the world to do the demo. But literally anyone that you picked to do that demo would have been pulled over the hot coals over it, no matter who it was. You could have had I don't know, Jordan or someone like that, like one of the best keyboard players in the world, pulled over the hot coals over it, because it just would have made anyone look bad, no matter what you did on that. I don't know, I've done demos of that synth on my show, and I'm like, guys, the best thing this can do is unison. That's it. Unison. Put it into 4 voices, detune them slightly. There we go. Next.
So why did you get one then, Ranzee?
Purely indulgence. It was purely indulgence. I was just so determined to prove everyone wrong that there was something good that was going to come out of the back of this thing. Was it the same for you, Kent?
So you bought it as a challenge.
I said
it was.
Yeah, I said to Kent, it can't be that bad.
That's what I said. And then Wagoo was telling me not to get it. Wagoo said, don't get it, and I ended up getting it. And I'm like, oh my God.
Played it, and I went, oh my God, everybody was right.
Yeah.
Oh God, this is wonderful.
Magoo got one for the meme value.
I hope you got your money's worth.
Well, there's literally I don't know, probably an easier way to make a 4-voice analog, synths without modding as a Timberwolf, but it'll be just a bit of fun, I think.
It's still only the price, though. I mean, £300 for a used one.
Oh no, you can get them cheaper than that. I got mine for about $300.
Sure, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
one on eBay, one on Reverb.
Doesn't mean it's used, though, does it?
Mine was used, but when I got mine, it had all of the original box, all of the manuals, and everything was all still sealed up. I honestly thought this guy probably bought it, pulled it out once, turned it on, thought the same thing that I thought, put it back in, and listed it on wherever it was. I think it was Gumtree or something that I bought it off of.
Should have just returned it, shouldn't he?
I wouldn't be surprised if it still had a warranty on it. It was like it even, you know, that new smell that you get with brand new synths. It had the new smell, and I'm like, I thought this was used. I looked at my listing again. Yeah, it said used. Anyway, it doesn't smell new anymore though. It's been sitting in that. It's a bit dusty now. We got his for 200 chuffs.
And see you later.
Yeah, we gotta finish the show as well.
You have a good one.
See you at the
You have a
pub.
good one.
Nice
See
talking.
you later on.
See you,
Yeah,
fella.
mate.
Cheers.
Later.
You can't.
Bye.
The new wolf smell, says Babs. The wet dog smell.
Wet dog
Yeah.
Yeah.
Description immediately evokes the smell.
Yeah. Anyway, so today was a little bit about celebrating NAMM and any new products that came out, and I kind of felt we're kind of pretty lucky to be synth people, I feel, because every year we are blessed with some new gear. This year, I don't know if there's anything. Would you agree? I don't know if there's anything that kind of really kicks it out of the park in terms of groundbreaking inventions in the synthesizers that have come out. The NAMM I'm talking about, not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we had.
It's only January though.
I know, but we haven't had like the bit masking synth or something that was completely new idea last year.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
No, we haven't
then,
really
have
had
I?
that this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's still. That's right. Robbie's got some involvement with bit masking, but he can't say.
Yeah.
No,
Yep,
it's there.
yep.
I've got the synth. It's right there.
But yeah,
I still think
answer Rance's question.
Oh really? Hang on, let me full screen that, mate. You keep yourself there.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie really likes it.
Yeah, that's a good synth.
Yeah.
Very well made. He's working on some new firmware updates for it and the SSFM as well.
Cool.
Oh, okay. I now know who we're talking about. Yeah, sorry. It took me a little while to sort of click in. It's all right. I don't have anything against that particular company. It's a certain individual that I have something against.
Yeah.
And he doesn't work for them. He doesn't. He's just a YouTuber.
Bloody YouTubers.
Yeah, I don't know. These idiots on YouTube. Why do we bother? Anyway, so what do you guys think of Zoom? Was it easy? Was it good?
Yeah, much better experience.
Yep. I mean, from your point of view, you're looking at a Zoom interface, so it's no different than if you're making a work call through Zoom or whatever, but you're still getting the show back, the audio's coming clear and all that sort of stuff. So,
and we see what you see. You know, it's much better,
and it's fairly much instantaneous too. Which I was doing some tests here before I did my live stream test last week, and like I had someone in the car doing 5G calls in and stuff like that. And like you could see them waving outside the front of the house, and there was like a very, very, very tiny little delay, and it was traveling all the way through the internet back into here. So it's pretty good. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a very small delay for you guys as well. The guys reckon the video seems clearer. It's not a placebo effect. Definitely is. You know, Andy's in the dark. You know, he probably just needs to turn his light on.
I've got no pad up at the.
It's not the least Rance.
Robbie looks nice and clear
because you're not going through another HDMI conversion as well, isn't it? Because
that was the orange issue that I had because I was capturing the laptop which is sitting over there, and I don't know why it just did not play nicely with the capture card. I don't know what was going on. The problem with StreamYard for me, like Robbie's show, he uses StreamYard to control the whole show. So it's like he'll have a Stream Deck on his desk and he'll press buttons and he has controls and things like that. And the whole show is literally, produced through StreamYard. This software doesn't play with StreamYard. They don't play
right.
because they're competing pieces of software.
Yeah.
It's not like
They're
they
in the
hate each
same-
other or anything. It's just that they literally do the same thing. You know, StreamYard's a cloud-based thing, and this thing is a standalone piece of software on your PC-based thing. The only reason why I don't use StreamYard is because this gives me a million times more features than what StreamYard gives you. And there's a lot of things that Robbie gets frustrated with StreamYard that this thing does out of the box. And like,
Actually looking at Ecamm.
yeah, there's a few. I mean, the scripting of this, like if you talk to Nick, you know, you can talk to Nick offline. He'll tell you about the script. This show that I do is there's a lot of back-end scripting that, you know, make things so much easier for me to produce my show. Whereas a lot of the stuff you have to do, you have to manually have things ready. So for me, I just drop things in folders, and the images come up, and the links come up, and all that sort of stuff. As long as I've got it in a spreadsheet somewhere, and it can use a spreadsheet as a data source and all that kind of cool stuff. So from producing the show point of view, I mean, it's taken 5 years for me to get from, you know, where I started to here. But you know, and Nick uses vMix as well, and I think Rob and Vincent uses vMix. I think if I remember rightly. The biggest thing for me is to be able to map a controller that way. You guys can see I'm using an APC Mini there, and then you can have, I mean, the APC Minis are so cheap to buy, and you've got sliders and buttons, and you can literally map that, and they're so much cheaper than buying a Stream Deck. Stream Decks, I don't know why they're just insanely overpriced for what they are. They're awesome, though. They are definitely awesome for what they do, but they just, I don't know why, they're just expensive. Probably because it's a video.
Each button's an LCD thing, isn't it? So you can put your own little icons and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a little OLED. Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah, I've got one. I've got one now as well.
I've got the 5x3 one, the smaller one.
What I've got.
Yeah.
Very useful.
I put big lights on.
That one. Upside down. All the electrons are going to fall out. There it is.
Yeah.
And I don't use it. You know, I used it for when I had StreamYard, but I don't really use it for anything. I don't really need it. So yeah, so for me, I spoke to StreamYard about some of the things that frustrated me. Like, I think Robbie knows about one of the things that I literally did my head in, was like being able to full screen someone from moving them from one spot to another and all that sort of stuff automatically. You have to literally drag people across. It's so annoying. And they haven't fixed that yet. I don't know why. I honestly think they can't do it. I don't think they.
I think what they've been doing at StreamYard is they've been focusing on their business model to generate more funds, because obviously that helps with development, and they've been focusing a lot on using and selling StreamYard as a webinar tool rather than a live streaming tool. So, you know, you can pay, you know, this kind of business license, and that you get a green room where you can, you know, people can wait in there, and then you can bring them in, and there's lots of attendance options and all this kind of stuff. And they've not focused so much on the actual, you know, useful things for us. Like, you know, my biggest frustration is I wanted to have a button assigned to every camera input, and so if I want to solo somebody, I just press a button. So I just have, you know, one button for Kent, one button for Andrew, one button for me, whatever.
Like I've
and
got.
just boom, boom, boom. And it doesnn't have anything like that. You can solo people, but you have to use the web interface.
You have to
What's
move
the point
them
of having
across. Yeah.
You can either manually move them, or you solo them by actually clicking on the web thing. So I'm going from, you know, trackpad to Stream Deck and back again. And they've added custom layouts and stuff, so you got dynamic camera slots and all this kind of stuff, but really the fundamental stuff really needs to be addressed, and they don't seem very responsive. I mean, you go onto their Facebook page and you ask a question, or you make a, you know, feature request or something, and everything's moderated. They lock it right down, so you can't just go on there and say, hey, wouldn't it be cool? You know, you have to go through a moderation process, and it's a little bit, which is why I'm thinking about moving to Ecamm this year, because now I've got a computer that can handle it.
The only
That gives me-
negative side of it though, and you'll find this out when you start doing it, is if you like, I'm streaming from my house, so I need a decent. I have to have fiber here. I've got fiber, so I'm lucky. But up until last year, I didn't have fiber, and I used to have to use 2 internet connections to run my show.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
But now I've got it so that the only real sort of payload that I've got going out is just the stream now. And because the Zoom calls, they don't take very much bandwidth at all, because all I'm doing is just bringing that in, and then it's all packaged up and sent out through the stream. It's not like I'm sending out multiple video streams at the same time. With the vMix callers, like you see with Ian and Chris, they're vMix callers. I only get 4 of those in the software. If I bought the top license, I get 8. Even 8, it's not enough. Like probably enough to do my show if I was really picky. But with the Zoom plugin, it's free, and I get 100 callers. I can have another 100 callers coming in, and the only thing that I've done that's different, it cost me a little bit of money. It cost me about $20 Australian a month. Is I paid for like a business account so that the meetings in Zoom don't time out.
20 minutes.
Yeah, is it 40 minutes for a
40 minutes for a free basic account? Yeah.
Free meet. Yeah.
40 minutes. Okay.
Oh yeah, imagine like we do this on it. I mean, there's no way I'd have 100 people yakking on a show, but I mean, you think about today, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus me, 9 people. 9 people on the show, showing their face, so that's brilliant, and that's what I want. I want a community where people, you don't have to show your face, you can just jump on with your mic only if you want, but I want that community where people engage, because I mean, you guys get sick of hearing me, so that's the point. Less of me chatting, more of you guys chatting is the whole point, right? And like I said, I want to somehow, like, I think we should bridge some of these shows together in some way. We can sort of have, I know different days, you can't sort of cross over live and things like that because of different days, but I feel like, the future is that, the channels that love each other, like I love Pro Synth Network, and hopefully that's reciprocated. We will...
Yeah, Robbie doesn't like anybody.
We will bridge across, so...
Sorry, Rob.
Funny you should say that, we've actually got a collaboration episode coming up fairly soon, which more details later. But we're having a little experiment, and that might be interesting.
Okay, cool. Well, if there's anything you want me from, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how this goes, and you never know.
All right,
it's a good idea. It's a nice idea. It's a really good idea, actually.
And the thing is, they brought this Zoom plugin out literally only a week ago, and it's stable. So they obviously went through their beta testing and everything. Not bad for a bunch of Aussie software developers, I think. The only thing I would want them to add is titles. I feel it needs. I mean, I can add titles, but it's going to have to be a manual thing, and it's going to be too hard in a show where I have people like you saw today. You saw people coming and going. And I actually want that sort of, I want to have that ability where people are flexible. They're allowed to come and go when they want. I think that's the cool thing about it, because our show streams for about 2-3 hours. So, for some people, they can't
drop
hang
in
around.
and drop out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some sort of way that we can do titles. I can do your comments. So if you guys chat in Zoom, I can actually highlight your comments and bring them up onto the show as well through the Zoom chat. So yeah, just one more little thing, and so I'll probably put a post up on the forum and let them know they probably even thought of it and haven't just done it yet. So one of those things. But yes,
I like that Costa Kai has said we need a 24/7 synth stream, right? The synth channel, and then Azio had said, we need only synths. Only synths is what we need.
Only synths website. Absolutely.
Oh dear.
Like the meme that we showed a couple of weeks ago. That was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Good. That was good.
You know what? We should t-shirt. We should sew t-shirt that. We should sew t-shirt that. I'm just thinking now. That's like only synths.
Yeah.
It's quite
That's
nice.
it. Yeah.
Good idea.
Just going to buy that domain.
Look at Kent. Kent approves of it.
He does. It's been a bit quiet there.
Looks like a little
He's-
turtle, doesn't he?
He's been
Yeah.
he's been transfixed with our conversation for the last hour, I think.
Yeah.
When you hang up your call, it's literally the last frame of the video. So if you do something like pick your nose, we're just going to see that for the rest of the show. I'll show you. This is Andy Joyce when he left the stream. So I've still got his face. I've still got Henrik. There's Henrik. Dave. Look at that. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Dave knows how to leave stream.
He does.
It leaves with excitement. No, I think he was a bit upset that I think he had to walk his dog or something. So yeah. Anyway, guys, we're going to finish. Yeah. See you guys next week.
So, yeah.
Same bat time.
I
same
won't be
bat
here
channel.
next week, so I'll see you in a fortnight. But I'll watch on repeat.
Darren, if you're
Got a
watching,
family
hope
thing
you get
next
better soon. I know you guys have missed
Yeah.
Darren for the last couple of weeks. He's been
Yeah.
feeling a bit poorly.
Oh well.
So
dear.
get better.
So
And-
get well soon, kiddo.
And
Get,
Brooks,
get well,
and-
Darren.
I should have mentioned to Brooksy too. I know he's not watching right now, but he was in the chat earlier. Someone broke into his car, so I'm really sorry to do that, mate. And hopefully you can sort that out as well.
Yeah.
And Robbie as well as you. I'm hoping everything's going okay with you too, bud. So I know you've been doing the medical stuff. So yeah, look after yourself, mate.
It's all what do they call it? Preventative.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah, maintenance, preventative maintenance.
That's it.
That's the stuff.
All right. Say goodbye, people. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, people.
See you next week.
Bye.
Catch you later. Here we go.
See ya.